It's the Jake and Ben Show. 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 Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Jake and Ben Show. This is episode number 10. Special episode because it's 10. We're not doing anything for it, though. I just realized that. It's all right. Ben's here.
So 10 is the big landmark. That is, sure, let's go with it. It's an amazing moment. It's a landmark of number 10.
It's just
10 weeks.
Just as arbitrary as 100 or 500 or 1,000. But let's just jump into it, Ben.
Let's jump into it.
Okay.
Are you a fan of Jurassic World?
It's all right.
It's all right? Okay. I'll be honest. I haven't seen the full movie. I've seen parts. I've seen the beginning and I've seen the end. And I've caught it all on television. Are you excited for Jurassic World 2?
You know what? Okay. Yes, I think I am excited for it, just because it's got some horror elements, it seems, in the trailers and whatnot. So I'm excited just for that angle alone.
Okay. Well, you haven't seen 2 yet.
That's
Are you
correct.
excited for Jurassic World 3?
No.
Well, then you might love it because your favorite director is going to be directing it.
Okay, hold on.
You know who that is?
We have to preface this with saying we talked about this beforehand. I didn't know a director had been announced. Ben knows who the director is, and he wanted to surprise me on air. So
Yes.
I don't know. So let's hear who's my favorite director.
Well, not only is he your favorite director, but when you hear the name, you're going to be so mind blown. You're going to be, wow, this is the man to do it. This is the guy. This is the greatest director of all time. This is what you're going to think. You want to hear the name?
Yeah.
Let me know how much you want to hear the name. How bad do you want to hear the name?
I don't care really. Let's go to the next topic. What's up next? Solo making 150 million?
Well,
Just kidding. Tell me who's directing it.
Okay. No, you know what? See, you're not ready for this. You think it's a joke.
Okay.
But this is the greatest director.
Can I guess? Because I assume you're being sarcastic. Ooh.
I'll say it.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
to guess
Let me guess. I think I can guess it.
I don't want you to guess because if you're right, then P.
Okay, hold on. It's
You
fucking,
don't guess.
I forget how to pronounce his name properly, and I don't want to sound like an ignorant twat. So, is it the guy who directed The Shallows?
It is none other than Colin Trevorrow,
Fuck.
who directed The First.
Fuck. I celebrated prematurely because I thought, oh, I'm definitely right.
Yeah, it's Colin Trevorrow. Now, there was build up there. From us talking in the past, I don't think you're the biggest fan of Colin Trevorrow. That's why I kind of built it up. So for anybody to think that that's your favorite director, that was a bit of a ruse there.
I'm actually upset because when you said it is, I thought you were saying it is to my answer. I just realized I blundered. Anyways, I'm so lukewarm and indifferent towards Colin Trevorrow that this build up for 4 minutes has no payoff. Well, I think we should go to the next story.
Well, okay, you know what? I'll say this. Without having seen the full movie, so I can't judge yet, but I mean, I neither love Colin Trevorrow nor do I hate him.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm happy that he is focusing on Jurassic World 3 than Star Wars Episode 9. And even more so with everything that has gone on, passing of Carrie Fisher, and just the trajectory of how things are going. I'm happy that he's focusing on this than Episode 9.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, lukewarm. I don't really care about him too much.
Neither do I. When
it's
I
not
read
bad news, I guess, but I mean, they could have had a more inspired pick, I guess.
Yeah. I don't really care. I'm not that excited for Jurassic World 2. I'll check it out.
Wait, is Colin Trevorrow directing too?
No, it's I don't remember the guy's name, but it's somebody else.
I'm gonna fact check it just because I'm curious. I feel like I probably knew it at one point, but I don't know now. Hold on, I'm gonna fact check it. You kill the dead air.
All right, I'll kill it. Well, okay, I'll kill it with some fake news here. Is that I read this story about Colin Trevorrow, and it's gotta be fake news because it was concerning Episode 9. It was before he got fired or
J.A.
left, however you want to put it.
He directed that Monster Calls movie. That's really terrible.
Okay.
And it makes me angry. Anyways, keep going with your story.
I'll say this fake news story quick. Is that I read this piece and it was saying how Colin Trevorrow, and I totally don't believe it because of the basis of how would he have gotten hired when the script for Episode 8 was already there. His whole thing was that he wanted Luke to live, Snoke not to die, and he was going to send Luke off, just walk into the sunset, which I think is such fake news because how would he have pitched to Kathleen Kennedy that this is my story when they already knew what was going on with Episode 8? But that was to fill some dead air. It's a fake news story I read about Colin Trevorrow. However, I do think he probably wanted Luke to live, but I don't think that would have been such a big thing to why he would have left. I remember when he got hired on for it, one of the things he talked about was just making Leia it would be her movie as Han was. It was essentially Han's movie, The Force Awakens. Luke's in The Last Jedi. Would have been Leia's for Episode 9, which, obviously the unfortunate passing of Carrie Fisher, that changed things. But, that was what I would assume to be a fake news story I read.
Yeah, probably fake news.
Yeah, whatever. I threw it out there because, dead air, so give you some fake news that I thought was ridiculous. So, we'll move on to what you already mentioned, is Han Solo. The tracking numbers came out for it, which it's still very early on. There's like a month and a half left until it comes out, but regardless, it's tracking for 150 million. When I heard that number, I was like, shit. If it makes 150, that's a fan-fucking-tastic. I thought it was going to be in the range of like a 70 million. I still think it'll, with hearing these numbers, I think it will probably be like a 90 to 100. That's what I think. If it makes that, it's still fantastic. But it's not like it's a saga movie. And Rogue One had the benefit of coming after The Force Awakens, riding the big Star Wars back hype that, if Solo does 150 6 months after The Last Jedi, that's fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, and I don't think it will. I
don't think so either. But if it does, great.
I also think, hot take here, I also think this movie's going to be a hot mess like Justice League was and be similarly disappointing as Justice League.
I'll tell you why it won't. Oh. And it is because the thing with Justice League is that, first of all, you have a mandate from Kevin Tsuchihara saying, this is going to be around 2 hours. It can't be over. And then you have this thing of, all right, we're going to put it out because he wants his bonus for if it makes money, which it ultimately didn't make that much money. And you had Joss Whedon come in and write extra scenes and try to do rewrite of the story, as with Han Solo. Lawrence Kasdan's script, and from what people have said about it, and this is just the script, it's not the movie. Word is, it's one of the best Star Wars scripts. Lawrence Kasdan has wrote some of the best Star Wars movies. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens. And his thing was, Han Solo, that's his character. We know George created Han Solo before, but when Lawrence Kasdan, that's the guy he wrote for, Han Solo. And he wrote the script with his son, and, like I mentioned, they say it's one of the best Star Wars scripts. And one of the big things of why they say Phil Lord and Chris Miller got fired was because they were going for more improv, staying away from the script. Lawrence Kasdan, as, an old grumpy man, would make sense, totally get it. He's the man saying, do the script. So you have that friction, you bring in Ron Howard, and they shot the script. The script didn't change. So I think that's a big difference from Justice League and Han Solo, is that they want to shoot the script. They want that. They didn't want anything improv, anything different. So Justice League, you have the mandate under 2 hours. Let's change some scenes. Let's change the tone. They're not changing the tone of Solo. They just want the script shot.
Okay.
In my opinion, it could be a hot mess. You never know. I just don't think it will, considering that it's not such a big overhaul. It's a lot of reshooting they have to do, but they're going off the script. They're not changing script.
We should make a bet. If it's a hot mess, if it's not a hot mess, I have to do another episode with the deep voice for the whole episode, like the Black Panther review. And if it's a hot mess, you have to.
Okay, well, see, then here's the thing.
Okay.
What if it comes out and, you shouldn't judge a movie by Rotten Tomatoes, but, let's say it has, 85% on like a Rotten Tomatoes. Majority of people dig it. They think it's a fun film. And let's say I dig it and you are like, wow, that's such a mess. But the majority of people like it. How do we weigh it from there?
Okay, fuck it. The bet's off. Too many holes. Too many holes.
Yeah, you gotta get to the nitty and gritty.
What else? What were we just talking about? Oh yeah, Solo. Yeah, I get your defense. Like, there's definitely more things going on the Justice League side, but I think it's gonna be a hot mess. I mean, not for the exact same reasons as Justice League, of course, because it's a completely different scenario, but just the kind of it's audiences are lukewarm on it and it's gonna underperform kind of thing. That's but we'll see. I don't know. I just every day I don't think I care. I care less and less every day about this movie. But then again, a week before the movie comes out, I'm gonna be super excited. So whatever.
Yeah, the difference for me is that each day I'm getting more excited than what I thought I was.
I'll probably get there eventually, and, like I said, a week or whatever.
Well, yeah, like there's Ron Howard's been putting out like pictures and just of the scoring session, saying how it's going and how the edit is like, locked. They're going over visual effects, everything's looking good, and just seeing the stuff he posts from it. Like he put out a picture of the mixing session, and it was just a picture of a TIE fighter shooting, and it's like, yeah, it's a small thing, but it's like, yeah, man, it's getting me going, it's getting me charged up. It's gonna be here soon. So each day I'm getting more excited than what I thought I would have been, and I'm not going into it expecting an Empire Strikes Back or the greatest Star Wars movie. And hey, maybe it'll do that. I don't think so. I mean, I'm going in with the mindset of like, I'm looking for a fun adventure movie. That's what I want. That's what I'm expecting. If it's any less than that,
I don't want
be
that.
Disappointed.
I mean, like,
but then what would you want?
Well, I just like you can get a fun adventure movie from any movie. Star Wars is supposed to be beyond that, you know. I just I don't like the sound of that. Just like a fun adventure movie like Jumanji.
Hey, I mean, Jumanji worked for a lot of people.
No, I like Jumanji. Jumanji's good, but it's also like it's relatively forgettable, and I don't want that. I don't want a Star Wars movie to just go, come in theaters, go out of theaters, and then I see it once and then I don't think about it ever again. I don't want that. I actually want it to be great. But I mean, I'm not expecting it to be. I don't have like ridiculously high expectations, like I said before, but not everything can be The Last Jedi.
Hey, amen. Speaking of that, let's move into The Last Jedi.
Hey,
the Blu Ray.
That's a segue.
Hey, there it is. Was that like one of my first good ones? I'm going to assume so since the call out there. So the Blu Ray, it came out on Tuesday. And digital, all movies that they get a digital release 2 weeks before the physical copy. So
did it have all the bonus features with the digital? Oh, okay.
It did, which made it like, it's ridiculous to say avoiding spoilers from like a digital release, but like I didn't want to hear anything about the documentary, the deleted scenes, anything. I just stayed away because I'm like, I'm getting my physical copy, and I was tempted each day to buy the digital copy, but I was like, I know the Blu-ray's coming, just hold off for 2 weeks. It's a long ass 2 weeks, and I wasn't even expecting it to show up on the Tuesday because I had ordered it online, and every time I do that, it always comes the day after. But it showed up at 9:50 on Tuesday.
Ooh.
So I got my 4K Ultra HD Steelbook of The Last Jedi.
Ooh, girl. Oh, that's the Best Buy one?
Yeah, it was the Best Buy one.
I got a little story about how I purchased mine too.
Okay, let's hear it.
I like to get my Blu-rays on Amazon, just because it's easy. I don't have to leave the house or whatever. But for the longest time, I kept searching like 2 or 3 days before it's supposed to come out. It was not on Amazon. So I kind of just forgot about it. I was like, okay, I'll look whenever. And then I'm in Walmart and I'm walking around Walmart and then I see this big stand for The Last Jedi. I'm like, oh shit, it's out. It came out today actually. So then I didn't even need to get it from Amazon. It was just there.
Yeah.
And they had the regular Blu-ray with like, the slipcover. And I'm like, it's kind of a lame slipcover. My Force Awakens slipcover is sick. So I was looking for a better edition of the Blu-ray. And they have this one where it's like removable covers. So like you can change who's on the front. So I bought that one. It's $5 more. But it's so fucking stupid. They all slide out. It's like it's a really loose fitting front cover. So you have like Rey, Luke, Kylo all on 5 different pieces of paper paper in quotes. It's not really paper. It's like cardstock or whatever.
Yeah.
And you pick up the Blu-ray, they all just fall out. It's not like a tight squeeze on them. And I'm like, this is what a waste of an extra $5. I don't get a slipcover. I get these weird removable art things that don't stay in. Whatever. When it's just laying there, like on top of the Blu-ray player, it looks sexy. So just don't touch it and just admire it.
Yeah.
There.
Well, there you go.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I thought I'd share my story.
I dig it. I like
It's
the story.
$50 on Amazon. I just checked. What the fuck?
I paid I think I paid $50 for the steelbook.
Oh, ouch!
Even to
shit.
get the steelbook was, I mean, I guess a story in its own. It's not that exciting, but when the pre-orders were available, I check it like an hour after they go available. It's all sold out on Best Buy. Everywhere I'm looking, I can't find what I'm looking for. And I really did like the steelbook, so I say, hey, we'll see. And a month goes by, I look again, and it still says not available, sold out. I check an hour later, then it says available, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get this right now. So I ran, grabbed my credit card, put in the info, got it, and it's a boring story, but I just was monitoring for like a month just when I could get it. So
Yeah.
so I got mine.
Do you collect Blu-rays like besides like big releases like this kind of thing?
I do, and I've been trying to ease my way out of it.
Out of it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I have a lot of Blu-rays, a lot, and I have no room, like nowhere to put them. I just have, there's so many fucking Blu-rays I have. I got a closet full. I've got counters full. I've got my whole fucking shelf full that I got my TV on. It's too many. I got too many. So the way I've been playing my Blu-rays is that I'll like get like a Star Wars, or like the last one before that I got was Thor Ragnarok. Because I've been playing it more like that. I've slowly moved into digital.
Okay.
I had a hard transition. I always like having the physical copy.
Yeah.
But then
I need like
started
that
using
artwork. That like
Yeah,
just like the artwork.
yeah.
and it's sick. Slipcovers. I love my Blu-rays.
Yeah, I do too, but at so much space, and I've recently been using Google Play.
Is that where you
And
get
it's-
movies? That's where you have like, your digital collection.
Yeah. Well, at first it was on Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just easy enough to buy them on there. But then
Yeah.
I discovered the ways of Google Play and just playing it on my TV and going to another room, having it there, going somewhere else and having it there.
Yeah.
So that's been nice. But you know what?
Okay. Let's
Forget about this.
Yes.
We got to talk about the Last Jedi Blu-ray.
Yes.
Okay. I'll start off with, I was very excited to get it, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I was really looking forward to this a documentary, The Director and the Jedi, and all these deleted scenes, all the bonus stuff. And I was disappointed with the Force Awakens Blu-ray, because when that came out in April, there wasn't much to it. There were like a few deleted scenes. You got the commentary with JJ, like small behind-the-scenes thing. There wasn't much to it. And then like 4 months later, they put out a 3D one with a little bit more on it. So when I heard they're going all in with this Blu-ray, I was like, I'm looking forward to this. Because the thing I love about home releases is that you get these, behind the scenes look. I like to see how, you made the movie. I like to see all that shit. And with the prequels, like them or not, they had some, the Phantom Menace had an awesome documentary behind it. So I was really looking forward to this documentary. I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
I'll tell you my thoughts, because I want to hear what you were looking forward to in this Blu-ray and how excited you were.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Okay, so I didn't know much about what was going to be on the Blu-ray. I didn't know the documentary was 90 minutes long or whatever, because I started watching it the other day and I got 15 minutes in. I'm like, oh, I'm probably halfway done or whatever, but you're telling me it's like a full movie, and I didn't know that, so that's awesome. So I'm going to watch that after this. J.J. Abrams' commentary on The Force Awakens was amazing, so I was really looking forward to this commentary. And one deleted scene in particular I had heard about. I remember on the red carpet. No, when was it? Daisy Ridley was talking. I think it was the red carpet. Daisy Ridley was talking about a scene that had been lifted from the movie, and she couldn't believe that it wasn't there. And I didn't know what that scene was. I think I read somewhere, or I assumed it's the scene where she's running with the lightsaber in the trailer. So
Okay.
I was curious to see what that full scene was. And it is on the deleted scenes.
It is.
And
Yes, it is.
So I was excited for that scene and the commentary mostly. But now I'm most excited for the commentary not the commentary. Fuck, the director and the Jedi documentary thing. So
Yeah, okay. I'll start off with this. I'll say what I was able to watch. I watched the deleted scenes, I watched the documentary, and I watched the Andy Serkis as Snoke without the effects. They title it as, I think, One Night Only with Andy Serkis, something like that. And obviously the movie itself. I haven't been able to get to the commentary with Ryan Johnson of the feature or the commentary on the deleted scenes. And there's some other stuff in there I haven't been able to get to yet. I want to hear, because you said you watched the commentary with Ryan.
yeah.
Was there anything insightful from there? Did you like it? Did you know?
Yeah, no, I loved it. I find it's the really small. This is the small things that I enjoy the most about these commentaries, where it's a shot and then they just quickly explain. Like I like when they break the magic of filmmaking, where they're like, he sees Kylo Ren's helmet smashed on the ground, and Ryan Johnson explains how that was their last take, and Ryan Johnson was the one who stepped on the helmet because originally it was just laying there like slightly cracked or something. Those kind of things I really love. But it was also nice hearing him talk about the deleted scenes in the commentary and how he referenced taking them out and how the film was changed from them. I liked those things. There's just like, he explained some things like near the end where Luke comes back. He explains.
Well, yeah, I guess we should say if anybody hasn't seen The Last Jedi, I don't know why you haven't. Come on. If you haven't seen it yet,
yeah, come on.
what are you doing?
Come on.
So,
Yeah.
spoilers for everything.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, when Luke comes back, he was just explaining details that like they cut out all his footsteps, like not just like seeing them but hearing them. They never did any sound for the feet. Just like when he hands Carrie Fisher Princess Leia the dice, they don't make a sound. Just like that kind of thing. Like hearing just little stuff like that, I like. And yeah, it didn't quite. I didn't like it as much as JJ's on The Force Awakens. I don't quite know why. There was just a lot of insight JJ had like about the filmmaking itself. I love JJ too. He's a beauty. Anyways.
Yeah, he is. I do love some JJ.
Yeah, so I totally would watch the commentary. I'm a big fan of directors' commentaries on Blu-rays anyways, and this is a top-notch one. So. All
right, see, that makes me, more excited to watch and listen to Ryan talk to me as I watch the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, deleted scenes.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear what you think about
Two
this.
stood out to me.
I have a stance, but like I don't have like a strong stance. It's
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of just like little ones, like Rey in the Millennium Falcon, watching Luke get shot. And she's like, "Let's go around back," and it lasts like 4 seconds. There's some of those.
Yeah.
The extended chase scene was a thing, whatever. But there's two.
Yes, it was. My God, that. Okay, what?
Okay.
With the deleted scenes, with most deleted scenes, I'm like, okay, they're deleted for a reason, and that's the case for a lot of these.
Yeah,
a lot of them I don't think are good, and that is the worst.
The extended chase.
What is there? Yeah, that extended father chases.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
Oh shit! I don't know if I'd call it terrible. Wow, but it was
for me,
unnecessary for sure.
And like, I love the movie itself, but like that chase, the extended chase, I think is terrible.
Yeah,
I think it's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's those ones, but there's two that stood out to me, and there's two that also stood out to Ryan Johnson, as he called them his favorite, and they were the hardest for him to take out.
I'm curious. I think I know which ones these are.
Yeah. One of them...
I think I know one for sure, and I got to assume it's Luke. Luke has a moment.
No.
That's
I actually thought that was an inconsequential one, too. That's one where he's sitting down for, like... It's like an extra shot of him in there, thinking about things, right?
Yeah. That's when he's
no,
his
I don't even think I didn't even watch that one with commentary. I watched most of them with commentary, but not that one because I just didn't care. I didn't think that one was anything. But the ones he removed the extended Snoke ship sneaking around scene. Where
is that the one with Finn and he's in an elevator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He said that was the most difficult to remove. I believe that's what he said. They took it out for pacing, though, of course.
Yeah.
I love that scene. The like slap of
Really?
the ass. The slap of the ass was a little
that
goofy.
stood out. Yeah, that was way
Yeah.
too.
But like the
I
whole
remember
like,
hearing the rumor way back when they were filming it that Tom Hardy's gonna have a cameo.
was
and
that
it's gonna
Tom Hardy?
Yeah, it was Tom Hardy, and that Tom Hardy had a cameo.
Oh.
And what was said about it was that he's going to be a stormtrooper. It's going to be when Finn is, doing his undercover stuff, and he's going to get a slap on the ass. I remember when I heard that, I was like, I do not want a slap on the ass in Star Wars, and I'm glad they cut that out.
I didn't like the slap, but the whole
The scene
sneaking
itself,
through
it
the
does
office.
it does have a nice build up to it.
Yeah, that sneaking was amazing, but I get why they cut it, and I'm glad they cut it just for the ass smacking. But like, I really wish that was gone, but the rest was still there. But I get it. And the other one that Ryan Johnson explained. Here, I'll tell you what it is first. The one with the island natives. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
And Ray and Luke's like, these people are coming to kill him, and then Ray chases them, and then they're all dancing, and then Ray and Luke have a confrontation, and then they kind of end on bad terms. You know that one?
Yeah.
That's the one where Ray was running, and that's what I was talking about. And I assume that's what Daisy Ridley was talking about, because she said the scene involved her, and she couldn't believe it was taken out of the movie. Ryan Johnson was saying how with this scene put Ray and Luke on kind of like a bad place at the end of it, but you take it out and you still kind of get that, but in a different way. And I agree with that. Like I get it. The fight that they have later on in the rain is still earned without it. So I get why it's gone. I don't mind it being gone. I thought it was kind of badass, like her running there, but like the twist of nothing being wrong was kind of like, okay, it's just like another comedic beat. So it's fine being gone. It works without it.
Yeah, that is again another thing I didn't really care for. I like the shot of her. I guess I like the premise behind it, but the music in the scene was a bit too Irish for me. Like, it seemed too earthly, and not to say, not to scrutinize Irish people, but it just seemed way too earth-based.
That's funny. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, they could have kept the scene, changed the music, though, I guess. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think the movie works fine without it. There was only one that I think you could make a case for putting it back in, but even then I'm happy it wasn't, because I didn't need it, was the Luke has a moment one. It's very quick and it's brief, and you get the sense of the whole scene itself, because the whole thing of him having a moment is based on Han Solo, but the way I heard people talk about it, how they're like, oh, I wish it was in the movie, is that once Luke says, well, where's Han? And then it cuts to Kylo Ren. If you had that scene in there, that doesn't help that moment, because it comes after the moment when she's saying, like, Kylo Ren, this is all the bad, and they're sitting out by like outside his door, so it wouldn't exactly fit in there. And then he walks in. I think he has cries for a moment, I believe. If not, he was sad, obviously. And then it shows him, it's him, and then cuts to Leia. But we get that moment anyways when he's finally coming back and he's reaching out, and then he reaches out to Leia, which ultimately leads to him going back in his shell because of a hand touch.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah. But I gotta say, and you get more insight to it when you watch the documentary. But the original opening the movie had, when it opens on Finn, Ryan
Johnson talked about that in the commentary too.
Man,
they mentioned that.
Yeah, they mention it.
In the comment.
Would you? I won't give you everything that's mentioned, but would you want to hear like a tease of how he thought of it?
Sure.
So it goes on. It's him talking, and he was wired for the whole process of it. So it's not like a sit down interview. It's like everything is like in motion. This documentary, which is nice, and he's talking about how like they're editing during the process of filming, and he's checking out the edit, and he's like, you can see he's kind of getting stressed out. And he's like, man, I like this just does not work, and like, what are we gonna do to make this better? And just to see the process that he went through
that's cool
to change
that's
it.
Cool.
It was a really nice process to see. Because
I like that.
Yeah, I think it so does not work, that opening.
Yeah, I remember, like, it's in the deleted scenes, the alternate opening, and Ryan Johnson talked about it in the commentary, how he thought it was clever, like clever trickery, but he eventually thought it didn't work. And I'm glad. It's a unique way to open a Star Wars film, just because it's a total flip on on its head, you know, like what you really would expect, where you think it's a planet, but it's Finn. But it's so silly. The movie opens with a fucking got him. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't. My God, if that was the actual opening,
yeah.
that would,
See, I'm not.
Which
even
again,
a
I'm
fan.
glad it's not. That's why
Like,
you go through the process.
Like, I love The Last Jedi. I think it's like maybe the second best Star Wars movie ever made. But I'm not even a big fan of the Finn waking up, falling over, water spraying everywhere. Like, just the whole reveal of Finn in the movie. So to put that at the beginning sounds even worse to handle that. Like
the hook, like when you open the movie and it's the evacuation, and then you get the whole space battle. It's just such an awesome way to open, and you get captured in the moments. That's like that. It's hard to think that was not the original plan to open it, just because it works so well, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would like to talk more about the Blu Ray before I get to. I guess I can give you my ranking of Star Wars films that you bring up. It potentially being your second favorite Star Wars film.
Sure, I'm curious.
Yeah, I'll tell you, but first I want to talk about this documentary.
Yeah,
and I won't talk too much. About it. I think it is an awesome documentary. I don't watch a lot of documentaries, which I would like to get into. But for the ones I've watched, this I think is a great one. I loved the Phantom Menace one, but I think this one is even better. You follow Rian Johnson from pretty much the moment he's hired on to when they obviously finish the film. And and this is what I gotta say.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. Sorry, keep going. I just had to double check that. Keep going. Sorry to cut you off.
So the documentary opens up with the rap party and Kathleen Kennedy, Rian Johnson.
I've seen the first 15 minutes, so yeah, I do remember that.
So you've seen this. And this is to where I go, like, I know there's a bit of a divide, but I think the divide is a bit more overstated. If you look at most audience ratings, there's only one that is significantly bad. Every other one is positive. So there is a divide. Yeah, you can recognize that. But I think it's a bit more overstated. Because obviously if you hate something, you're going to be a louder voice than people who don't. If you don't like it, that's cool. Whatever. But for anybody to think that, because there was some divisiveness, Ryan's not getting his trilogy. From watching that documentary, from the opening, the man's getting his trilogy. When you get Kathleen Kennedy, you get Kathleen Kennedy up there saying that I've been a producer for how long? I've worked on how many movies? There's not been an experience like working with Ryan and Ram. Kathleen Kennedy loves Rian Johnson. He's going to get his trilogy, and I can't wait for that trilogy. Can't wait for it. So just opening with that, you can really tell how much they care about Ryan and how much Ryan cares about Star Wars throughout the documentary. And I got to say one thing about it. Through watching it, when you get to a point when they're filming on Ahch-To, the planet Luke is on, and the opening when Luke tosses lightsaber over his shoulder. When I seen the movie, I didn't take it as a comedic moment, and I know some people did. When you watch it and how they filmed it, it was not filmed to be a comedic moment. It was filmed as like a serious moment. So for me, it was like, I didn't take it as a comedic moment, and the purpose wasn't as a comedic moment. I can understand why somebody would laugh and how somebody would take it as a comedic moment, but to me, it didn't hit me like that.
I think the comedy just comes from like the expectations. You've built up a year of talking about what's he gonna do with the lightsaber, and he just throws it over. That's where the humor's from. On itself, like by itself, with no context, it's not a funny moment. Yeah,
and it's just I think it's an awesome documentary. Even following Mark Hamill from the process of him being. I don't agree with this, but to see him as an actor go through it, and the ending is so beautiful. It ends with the scene of the ending is with the scene of Luke and Leia when they meet up together. Except it's not like obviously the feature footage; it's them behind the scenes and of how it was filmed. It is very emotional, heart wrenching. It's a beautiful moment. And I would say just watch the documentary to get just for that moment alone. It's beautiful.
Shit.
I think it's an awesome documentary, and
I'm so excited to watch it.
Especially for somebody who loves the process of filmmaking, or if you're a filmmaker, if you're a kid, you want to be a filmmaker, or you're an adult, you want to be a filmmaker. I think it's awesome to watch it.
Yeah, I'm so excited just for that alone.
And just even to think okay, this is a Star Wars movie, but it seemed like they were having so much fun making it, and of course there's going to be stress, but it just seems so fun. Yeah, Rian Johnson, I loved him, loved the documentary, and I'll let you talk about something if you want to, and then I'll finish the other thing that I want to talk about on the Blu-ray.
What's the other thing you want to talk about on the Blu-ray?
Okay, well, yeah, I'll go to it. It's Andy Serkis.
Right. Okay, we can talk about this. Yeah.
I think it's so amazing.
It's so cool.
I think it's amazing.
Okay.
I want to like. There's performance capture. I guess there can be a stigma behind it. If like, are they actually really acting? How much of it is actually effects? How much is performance? You could take away the CG of Snoke and just make him Andy Serkis. When I watched that scene, it was still chilling. My hair still stood up. It was creepy also seeing him. He is such an amazing performer. And it's obviously added on with performance capture. But you take that away, it's just so amazing and still chilling. And I loved it. It made me think, man, I love Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I agree with you, so I'm not going to repeat it. But I thought the part that was funny, though, was the hand on Rey's face, where the hand was Snoke's hand. That was good. That stood out to me. But yeah, I completely agree with you. We talk about The Last Jedi a lot on this podcast, or at least like our first 3 episodes we mentioned it. But holy shit. There are things in this movie that I really don't like, but this movie it's amazing. I watched the movie again on Blu-ray too. I don't know if I fully finished it. I started it really late, but the chunk I watched, like 2/3, man, the good parts of this movie are so fucking good. I'm just like,
that's the thing with the movie for me. I'll speak for myself. Is that like it fires on all cylinders when there's bad parts. There's bad parts, but I don't think they're like terrible. But just the good is so good that it just, for me, it takes away with the bad.
Yeah, I don't.
To me, the first act, and then I'll hand it to you. The first act to me is really good. Yeah. When you get to like the second act, which is not even so much the full second act, just more of Canto Bight and Finn and Rose. Is okay, whatever. But when you get to that third act, I think it is, for me, it's perfect and it fires on all cylinders. The moment you get on the supremacy to Crate and the ending, I think is perfect. Works for me.
Yeah. Like we talked about originally, the Finn and Rose stuff I think works as a whole for me, like narratively. It's just
narratively I think it works. Yeah.
Like there's like, this movie's like kind of profound, and like its flaws. The flaws with the Rose and Finn storyline in traditional filmmaking make the movie better. I've never seen a movie that its flaws made it better. Just in that regard, though, there are things that I don't like, and I don't think there's also ever been a movie where I am so unaffected by the things I don't like. Like it's ridiculous how I just look past it. In most movies I wouldn't, and it would bother me, but this is a weird anomaly. This movie is it's unique as hell, and it's a Star Wars movie. It's incredible. Yeah. Anyways,
which, and speaking of that, is I love The Force Awakens, but and I would say majority of people do. A lot of people did.
I fucking
made a
love
shitload of money.
Awakens.
But then you get some people that it was just a rehash of A New Hope. And then you get Rian Johnson on here. When Rian Johnson was hired, to me, when I'm thinking we're getting a different Star Wars movie, this is not going to be Empire Strikes Back 2. It's going to be a different and unique Star Wars movie. And for me, it delivered.
Yeah.
And it hit on all cylinders, and it was what I thought Rian Johnson was capable, but more.
Yeah.
It passed my expectations.
Like it's not Empire 2, but it also, if you compare to The Last Jedi to The Force Awakens, it feels like a similar comparison between Empire and Star Wars, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
it introduces new
compare
things, and
but yeah.
Yeah, like, but no, it's not Empire 2 in the slightest. It's not a remake of Empire. But fuck, I love The Force Awakens. I tweeted the other day about Star Wars, how I mentioned 2 of the 3 best Star Wars movies have been made in the past 3 years. It's too bad that Rogue One exists, because
I'll still stick up for Rogue One. I love it.
I think, like, it's just the way The Last Jedi works with its flaws. Rogue One does the complete opposite. I mean, I guess that's how most movies work, the complete opposite, where the flaws actually take away from the movie. But like, I don't want to get into a Rogue One tangent right now, but I just think, like, Empire, I go back and forth between what I like more, The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi. Like, they're so amazing, but in 2 different ways. Like, The Force Awakens is smart, and it has things to say, but not the way The Last Jedi does. But The Force Awakens also is so heartwarming and fun, and the way The Force Awakens is crafted, like technically, like the shots and all that kind of jazz, is like perfection. Where I don't think The Last Jedi is, but I mean, fuck, I start to nitpick, but like J.J. Abrams and his cinematographer have that shit locked down. Like they're so good.
I think it is locked down for like how they were. I think his cinematographer is Dan Mindel. I mentioned him when we talked about Cloverfield Paradox, and why I was disappointed with how it looked was because he was a cinematographer and he works with JJ. I thought it was shot beautifully, amazing shots, but I think The Force Awakens, Rian Johnson and his DOP, which I believe they went to film school together. They've worked on all of the DOP worked on all of Ryan's films since like short film to now, and I think they have such a handle. And it felt unique in a way. It was I thought it was beautiful, and I think both of them were shot beautifully.
Yeah.
But if I were to lean to what like I thought was aesthetically pleasing more towards me, it's a tough thing because they're both beautiful. But for me, it's Last Jedi.
I have some things that I've actually wanted to say publicly for a while now. I know other people have mentioned it. There's this idea in online film criticism that your film, like a lot of people throw the word cinematography around, and that's great. And you notice I stuttered earlier talking about the shots just because I didn't want to fall into the cliche.
Yeah.
That's why I stuttered a bunch and I didn't really come up with the word I wanted. Because there's all these online, YouTube critics that will say, it's shot so well, the composition is excellent, it's beautiful, but without an understanding of why. Like, you could have a movie shot really well, but what does it actually mean? It's shot well for what purpose? The thing with The Force Awakens, I think it's shot way better. It's sleek as fuck, way better than The Last Jedi. But like, there's a lot of hiccups in, some of the pans. Like, there's a pan up to Rey where like the camera like bugs to the left and right, and it's very distracting. There's one where they try and do this oneer, and the camera always feels like it's a little behind the actors. It's the scene near the beginning where like the battle commander's like, fire on them or whatever. I forget his name. It's the older dude. Anyways, there's all these kind of hiccups that I notice in The Last Jedi. And if I were to just say, like, rate it on a technical aspect, I'd be like, it falls kind of short. But the film's themes and what it's saying works with the kind of camera work that the film is giving us. Like, it's got these kind of rocky, hit or miss camera moves, but that's the whole movie. All the characters are also kind of hit or miss. They're kind of failing here, and it's throwing off the whole plot. Like the Finn and Rose story, like they fail, Poe fails. Like, it's kind of just this, it's really, I mean, it's depressing, but it's optimistic, like all Star Wars movies. But for the long time, it's it's not nihilistic, but it borders on it. And that type of cinematography where it's kind of clunky works so well. So for a critic or something to say it's shot well or it's not shot well, I don't really think I'm not calling out everyone. I just noticed this. They don't see the motivation behind this. And The Last Jedi is a return to Star Wars, and the whole movie kind of puts a smile on the audience's face. And the way it's shot reflects that. It has beautiful, sweeping, oneers or longer takes, and everything, like, to the focus, to, how the camera moves is so on point, and it fits narratively. So I think The Force Awakens is brilliant for that. I think The Last Jedi is brilliant for what it does. So just thought I'd say that piece that I've been thinking about for a while now, and I've noticed people online have been starting to say it, but I'm not trying to be like a pretentious fucking film student asshole, but I think it is important to know what the filmmaker's motivations behind things are. Even if Rian Johnson wanted to perfect all his movements, he wanted to, well, he didn't, and it works for the movie even better. So, I mean, yeah, whatever.
There we go. Yeah, what I gave a rant last week. Now we get your quick little rant.
Yeah,
I like it.
I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, because I think there's a lot of problems with just like how people talk about movies online. But I get it. Like,
Well,
it's
yeah.
you know.
I think, well, and I can't generalize everybody, but there
Yeah, of
are
course.
a good amount of people that you listen to that either don't have a background in filmmaking or don't know all technical aspects and just judge it more so for like a story base and not look at technical aspects or what they mean. And it's not a fault against them,
Yeah.
but
No, I
if
get
you're
it for
not
sure.
if you're not like a cinephile, or if you're not somebody who, you know, works in film and understands it fully as a whole, I can see why they would fall.
Yeah, I mean,
that.
there's definitely an audience for what people are doing. However, I think it takes away a lot of parts of film that should be addressed. Just like I think they're almost doing certain films a disservice, but I get why they're doing it. It's how they've always talked about movies, and there's
Yeah.
people that watch that because not everyone gives a shit about what I was just talking about earlier. However, I think for how I view movies, I think it's important to talk about at least a little bit.
Yeah, I think definitely if you got like a I mean, I guess you can forgive it, but if you got a great story and it's fucking technically it's pretty shit, I mean, I guess you'll ignore some of it, but it's obviously important to bring a whole experience to greatness. I gotta say, Last Jedi Blu Ray, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I think the movie is great. I'm sure the commentary is good. I mean, you spoke about it. I love the documentary. You got your deleted scenes there. Dug the Andy Serkis thing. There's still more I got to dig into. I'll let you finish about the Blu-ray, and then I'll give you my Star Wars ranking, which is the official. If you disagree, you can get out of here.
Okay.
Which
I'm just
that's
gonna
not
add
the
a cap
case
on
if
what
you
I
thought
said.
that
Too. I'm just gonna
serious.
add a cap on what I said. Just because there's a certain standard set and it's below it. Maybe it's below it for a reason, and that's the whole point of the film. Anyways, just because I just thought of a certain YouTuber that pisses me off the way they critique movies. I'm not even gonna
Name drop him.
No,
Name drop
no,
him.
I can't.
No? Okay, do I know him?
Well, I feel like if say we get bigger down the road, you
Okay.
probably know him.
Okay. All
But
right.
I find like that it's a man. So there we go. There's a hint.
Okay, so now we've narrowed it
And
to
he's white.
a lot of people.
He's white.
And still a lot of people.
Just like he critiques the
Well, okay, how about this?
technical.
Are they based in California? Are they based in
Oh.
like New York? Are they based
I'm not telling you
in-
where they're based, but I'll tell you it's
Okay.
not California. Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
um,
I think I may have a
but
clue on
it's just
this.
like I used to be a bigger fan because I think they're funny, but the way they judge technical things is aggravating to me. It's always
Okay,
like
okay. How about this? How about this? You can either say, I can neither confirm nor deny. Does this person wear a leather jacket a lot of times?
I deny. Who the fuck wears a leather jacket?
Okay, I'll mention later.
Okay. All right. Well, this person, I'm subscribed to them. I watch their videos. However, there's a lot of criticism where they'll say, it's out of focus, or the dolly shots aren't good, or they wobble here and there. I'm like, sure. And on it, like technically, if you go to film school, they say, do this. This is how it's supposed to be. But you're missing the point. Call Me by Your Name works because of how janky as fuck that camera
so
is.
this is where, all right, so this person was bitching about the technical aspects.
They do it
of,
all the time, and I'm like,
Call Me
okay,
by Your
maybe
Name.
the flaws are intentional. That what you see as flaws are actually like.
Well, the thing...
I think in
not
The
to
Last
cut you
Jedi, I
off-
think of Call Me by Your Name. Anyways, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but even like for a base of like, if you mentioned like a film school, you're told do this way. It's fucking wrong if you don't. In filmmaking, there is no wrong or right way.
Right.
There's an intention behind something. So if you perceive it to be, oh, that was bad, okay, but was it on purpose, or are they just terrible?
Yeah.
You got to look at it other
Yeah.
aspects,
Yeah.
because what to some person may think is a right way or a great way, a good way, whatever. The filmmaker behind it could think, hey, maybe this will imply something if we do this technically, it'll help the story, this and that. There's a lot of aspects behind
Yeah.
it. So, like, to me, when I think of filmmaking, there is, I mean, I guess you could argue this, but like, there is no wrong or right
Yeah,
way.
I agree. I agree that there is no such thing as objectivity in a movie.
Yeah.
Every single element is subjective. Like, there's a lot of people that critique it is objectively shot poorly, or because it's out of focus. Here's an extreme example. A whole movie's out of focus. It's all a blur. Someone says it's objectively shot poorly because it's out of focus. Things are supposed to be in focus. But that if the movie's all out of focus, I can almost guarantee you that was the intention. Whether it's some avant-garde experimental shit from I don't know, someone's basement. It's George Lucas, what he's making right now. He's probably making really weird shit. It's just like, I don't think there's anything like if the camera shakes, falls off the dolly or whatever, and it's just like wobbles, like what the fuck? That's objectively bad. No, it's not. Even if it wasn't their intention, say it wasn't the filmmaker's intention and actually did fuck up on the day, and they're like, shit, we have to move on for a schedule, but we still have this fucked up shot, we have to use it. It's still not objectively bad because someone could find meaning for it that the artist never intended.
No matter what, there's going to be one person out there who thinks that's amazing.
Right. And even if the artist didn't intend it, the person observing the art can interpret it for themselves, what they see in it. It's just like art is fluid and it's fucking weird and it's not a science. Like, I'm a huge fan of science, but art is not a science and it shouldn't be looked at like one.
Yeah.
So just like that idea of criticism where it's objectivity and it's mentioning, the flaw, like the technical flaws. Like, I get it. You can say this is a technical flaw, I didn't like it. Of course, that's fine. But sometimes there is motivation to it. It's not objective. Anyways, yeah. I do like this person, but it's something I should get off my chest. But holy shit, let's talk about...
Yeah, there you go.
I don't really have any final thoughts for The Last Jedi Blu Ray, except you should buy it. Yeah, and I'm super excited to watch the documentary.
It's fantastic.
Because I had no clue that it existed, and it's fucking over 2 hours long, as I just checked. So...
Well, yeah, I didn't even realize it was 2 hours long. It went by pretty fast.
Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah. Fuck. They should play that in theaters. Ooh, I'd love to see that in theaters.
Hey, and that in theaters would be good.
That'd be sick.
It's nice. It's funny. At one point of the when they were filming it, Anthony Daniels, C-3PO, so he's doing some lines, and when they were done, he went to Ryan Johnson. He was like, "Hey, I want to tell you something." And he's like, "Are you on mic right now?" And I'm not serving it justice. When you watch it, it's funny. But Ryan's like, yeah, wait to tell me after. I'm mic'd up right now. But it's funny. He didn't say it like in a dick way, but it was really funny.
All right, I'm excited.
All right, so here we go.
Let's rank our Star Wars. Yeah. Let's rank them, bitch.
Okay, let's rank them. For me, number 1, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not going from 1 to 10. I'm going 10 up.
Wait, there's 10 Star Wars movies?
Yeah, and you know why? There was a theatrical animated release.
Oh,
and
I don't count that.
Hey, theatrical release. It's a movie, and that is at the bottom of my barrel. Is the Clone Wars animated movie?
Why don't? Since it's at the bottom, anyways. Let's rank the live action movies.
Hey, it's still a movie.
Okay,
I gotta say, even though it's the worst,
I'll let you rank
Star Wars theatrical released movie, the series itself, good movie, shit.
Okay.
Now we're going to Attack of the Clones.
Here we go.
Attack of the Clones. I think it's an awful movie.
Yeah.
There's some things in there I can dig, but overall it's just no good. Phantom Menace, still no good.
Yeah.
But you know what? The fight at the end, like when I watch the movie, if I go back and I'm like, man, this is shit. I know what's coming. And I know you got to fight in Attack of the Clones, but Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, that was fantastic. Then we're going to Revenge of the Sith. It is the one prequel movie I can watch without getting so hate. There's still moments where I'm like, what the fuck? But not as much for the prequels. Then I got Rogue One. It's a movie I love it, but it's not like it's there. I throw it in here and there. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. It's in the middle. Then we got, putting the one here is Return of the Jedi. I love Return of the Jedi. And it's not low, it's high. But I think Return of the Jedi has the best third act in Star Wars films. Just for the throne room alone, the emotion behind it, it's fantastic. Love it. Then we're going. You know what's up next? A New Hope. I'm putting that there.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a movie, I love it. I do love it. It's obviously the one kicked everything off. Amazing film. But I have The Force Awakens above that. And then, The Force Awakens, love it. I mean, this is just a ranking, so I'm not going to give you all thoughts.
Yeah.
Then, my number 2 is The Last Jedi. I think it is for me, it's an amazing film. It fires on all cylinders. It really resonated with me. Luke's story really hit me emotionally. And even just, it still gets me where I'm like sitting and I'm not even thinking about Star Wars, and then I just think about his moment of walking out, and I get chills and I get emotional. I fucking love it. And Empire's number 1.
Shit, that's a good ranking, and I'm starting to think mine is probably super similar, but I'll give it to you anyways, and give you some thoughts on it. But I like your ranking. No surprises really, except I'm surprised. Yeah. Maybe I'm surprised that The Force Awakens is above New Hope.
Yeah, well, the thing with that is that, like, I love A New Hope, but like the thing is, like, nostalgia is like, it can obviously bump up a film, and if I just look at the two based on each other, I go back to Force Awakens more. And maybe that's because I've only had it for 2 years now. Maybe 20 years from now I'll be A New Hope, but as of now it's Force Awakens. I go back to it more.
Yeah, okay, but if you're talking nostalgia, I think in 20 years you're going to go back to The Force Awakens more, because this is the year, like, this time in your life is where you start, is where when you're old, you wish you lived again. So, you know, when you go through your midlife crisis, I think Force Awakens is going to be on.
When I go through my midlife crisis, definitely Force Awakens and Last Jedi, because when I'm in my midlife crisis, I'll have Luke to inspire me.
All right. Let's move on to my picks.
Not to cut you off.
Yeah,
another deleted scene I'm so glad they cut was the scene that you mentioned with Rey and Chewie on the Millennium Falcon, and they go by when the AT-M6s, I believe, are shooting at Luke, and it would have taken away what was going on.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah. That was just such like the deleted scene lasts like 5 seconds. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
it was really short and it was unnecessary.
Yeah, they're all AT-ATs to me. Fuck, if it has 4 legs and it's electronic, it's an AT-AT. There's so many fucking random models that I don't want to memorize or know.
There's a lot of names if you want to get down with it.
All right.
But I do believe they're AT-M6s.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. The worst Star Wars movie, because I've never seen that animated one, is Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not a big prequel fan, so Attack of the Clones is no good, garbage. Take it to the trash, throw it out. And then Phantom Menace. I have a little bit of nostalgia for the prequels.
Well, the thing with prequels is that we grew up when they were coming out, so that was our trilogy from youth, which is I'm glad we got this trilogy. But again, watching those as a kid, I loved them. I did, but grow older, you look at them for what they are, and you're like, wow, this is actually not good. This is not good.
Yeah.
But nostalgia, like, I'll think about it. Like, I'll listen to John Williams' score. I'll think about it. I'm like, hey, was it actually that bad? I'll go and watch it. I'm like, yeah, it was. And then a year later, I'm like, was it really that bad, though? And I go back to it.
Yeah. There's certain things, because I remember, like, my friends had, like, Star Wars-themed birthday parties. We watched, like, Revenge of the Sith or whatever, so that kind of thing. Like, I didn't religiously watch Star Wars as a kid. I wasn't, like, super fan, but there are just certain moments in the prequels that I remember as a kid liking it. It just brings back those memories, but it doesn't change the fact that they're shit. I don't enjoy watching them because of certain things reminding me of them either. Like, the nostalgia factor isn't that much for me. So, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, and then Revenge of the Sith. I think the Revenge of the Sith has some cool moments, I guess, but still, like, it's still. One sec, my cat is walking on the desk. Okay, there we go. I put him down. He's fat as fuck. That's what that moaning was.
Oh my.
Where was I? Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. I had something I wanted to say, but I forgot about it. Anyways, it's probably not important.
There were things you liked, but then a lot of things that then you kind of
whatever. So I also usually when I rank the Star Wars movies, I'm like,
hey, you know what?
Oh, sorry.
When you talk about Revenge of the Sith, let's not forget, Kylo Ren was not the first shirtless. I'll call him a Skywalker. I know Solo, but Skywalker. In Revenge of the Sith, you got shirtless Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, but I could guarantee you shirtless Hayden Christensen is not as wide as Adam Driver.
Oh, no.
Adam Driver, and I don't remember that scene, but I don't think Hayden Christensen wore his pants up to his nipples either.
They're not that high, but they were...
They're up there?
They weren't high, but if they were higher than average, if I'm remembering correctly. He's having a dream of Padme dying in childbirth, and he wakes up from a nightmare.
Oh, right. I remember
and then
that.
then you see Padme walking home.
I remember what I wanted to say. Perfect. Thank you for reminding me. The last time I saw the prequels was right like a couple weeks before The Force Awakens came out. So that's the most recent. That was like 3 years ago. I watched all the Star Wars movies in order for The Force Awakens. So they're no good. That's all I wanted to say. Just give you a reference of I've seen them since I was a kid, and they're no good. Anyways, let's go. Usually when I rank the Star Wars movies, I say the prequels and then everything else. Like, like the order for the prequels is like, yeah, whatever. I could throw them all out. I wish they didn't exist. I don't want them to exist. What they do with the lore of Star Wars bothers me.
That is where I differ. As much as I don't like them, I'm glad they're there.
Fuck them. Honestly, there's so much shit that makes no sense. If you watch, I watched those 3, then the original trilogy. So much stuff doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah, okay, continuity.
It's so stupid.
I like how George ignored his own continuity.
I know, like
it's fantastic.
Like, of course, I have respect for him, but like, how could you? Like, it's just like fuck. It's just a huge blunder. I think what upsets me the most about Star Wars till this day, and new Star Wars movies are still trying to repair it, is the midichlorians.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the worst things.
Force Awakens and Last Jedi has completely like redone that. Like, I just think it's funny. Well, yeah, if you sit down and watch 1 to 8, it's weird. Anyways, keep going.
I remember when JJ was doing the promotion for Force Awakens, somebody had asked, "Is there gonna be any midichlorians?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, there are not gonna be any midichlorians. You don't gotta worry about that."
It's almost like the prequels take place in a whole other world, because you watch the two new ones, like Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and you watch the prequels. The new ones are just kind of like shutting down the prequel stuff. Like, of course, like the original trilogy did that, but not on purpose because it came out before it.
Yeah.
But just yeah.
And I mean, if you look at them on the outside, and the prequels just aesthetically look more future. Like, they look like that is, the future in the Star Wars universe. With the original trilogy and sequel trilogy, it's a lived-in universe.
Yeah. So
it's
like
a rough universe.
Yeah,
but I gotta say, like, watching Last Jedi, when Luke's giving a spiel and he's talking about Darth Sidious, and when he shouts out. See, I did. For me, it works.
And I just hate the references to the prequels, because I like to think they don't exist, and like, so I just don't like when they're ever mentioned, because I want to be able to enjoy these movies without thinking about them. I get that kind of whole Darth Sidious storyline of the prequels is cool on its own, but I just don't want to think about them. I don't want them to be referenced in the movies.
But think for Luke's whole thing of why the Jedi need to end. You look at the past, you look at the prequels, and you think of what was there, and then he says, "Well, fucking look at what they did. They let this Darth Sidious come up, and Darth Vader, you know that guy? Well, guess what? Fucking he was trained by a Jedi." And it works for me, because it's not so much like here's everything that happened in the prequels. It's just there's a shout out.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, I get the shout out, but I think like
which is even why like in Rogue One, I love Jimmy Smits was there as or Bail Organa.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I guess it was cool.
Yeah,
but
and it's like and even the actress who plays Mon Mothma, she played her in Revenge of the Sith. It was deleted, and if you go back watch the deleted scenes of Revenge of the Sith, you'll see her. But she came back, did Mon Mothma in Rogue One. I like the small things like that.
Yeah, they're fine, I guess. Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent towards that stuff, I guess. But I think the Last Jedi thing with where Luke talks about the Jedi, their whole thing is failure, works without having the prequel references. But anyways, beyond that, let's just go my ranking system. Where was I?
Yeah, I keep cutting you off on here. You were at Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, yeah. Next, I'd probably go Rogue One. First I wanted to make one more reference. I'm sorry, one more reference. Just one more. Sorry, not one more reference. One more thing I wanted to say. Let's just fucking make this a long podcast, I guess. Whatever.
Let's go for it.
All right.
Let's go for it.
What? Okay, it's strange watching Return of the Jedi to The Force Awakens. It's strange watching it because of the gap in filmmaking, like the 30 years or whatever. Like, filmmaking's evolved a long way, and it feels like a whole new world. But it works because it's now later, and like, if in my head it works because it's later now. It's 30 years later. Like, technology's kind of evolved, I guess, in the Star Wars universe. Not really, but in my head, so it makes sense that we're seeing it through a different lens. Like, we're seeing it more like modern filmmaking, if you know what I mean. So the kind of like style of filmmaking back then, like in the 70s and 80s to now, I get that transition. Watching the prequels to the original trilogy makes no sense to me, and it pisses me off, just the style of filmmaking, how it's like very glossy, computer generated.
Yeah.
Even though it takes place before it, I think it should each improve each one. So that's another reason I don't like the prequels involved with the whole franchise. Anyways, here we go.
But if you look at the prequels, what it did for effects, CG effects.
No, I know for sure.
Definitely furthered it. But I mean, I know it's definitely jarring if you go back and watch, and it does look dated, but it did pave the way for effects now.
Yeah. Okay. So after Revenge of the Sith, there's a big gap, and it goes to Rogue One. Rogue One, I think, is I'd say it's a good movie. Almost. I'd almost say it's a good movie. I think it's an incredibly frustrating movie because they're so close to making an amazing movie. They're so close, and they didn't, which is fine. Whatever. It's just one of the spin-off movies that I really don't think they should be making anyways. But that's a whole other discussion, I guess. But Rogue One, it's disappointing, but it's fine. After that, we have Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi has...
So we got the same list as of now. I think I know the one different, but go on.
Yeah. Return of the Jedi has an amazing ending, like you said. I think it's one of the best endings in Star Wars. It's too bad that some of the other shit exists in that movie. I watched it... When did I watch it? Recently enough. I think after I saw The Last Jedi, I watched it again. It's got some stuff that I'm not a big fan of. I think it's lesser in the Star Wars movies, but the ending is just amazing that it works. Like the Vader and Luke showdown at the end of The Last Jedi is probably one of the best lightsaber fights in Star Wars, like top 3 for sure.
For me, it's definitely top 3, maybe even top 2. And I mean, I can understand if you're somebody who even like enjoys the prequels and you say, well, it's not as good as, fights in the prequels. What makes it so amazing, it's not so much the choreography of it, it's the emotion, the weight behind it, which is what makes to me a great fight. I don't care if you're just fighting and it looks good, cool, whatever. Why do I care about this? You care about that fight, and it's emotional, very emotional. Yeah, packs a punch.
The prequels have a bunch of pretty looking fight scenes with no weight behind it. Yeah, it means nothing. It means nothing. Yeah. All of it's nothing. Return of the Jedi's final fight thing is probably top 2 maybe lightsaber fights. But yeah, I don't like the Ewok stuff. There's the Jabba's palace stuff at the beginning is kind of cool, except the plan is kind of beyond me. I don't get what's going on. There's just like silly things that I don't think the end makes up for. But the end is amazing. So here we go on to the next one. Let's go. My next pick is Star Wars, A New Hope.
Okay. Wow, so yeah, we have a very similar list.
Very, very
spot
similar.
on as of now.
One of my favorite Star Wars moments is the double sunset. I think, and the score in that scene is just amazing. It's amazing. When I think of the original Star Wars, I think of that scene, and it's amazing. I think something that's worth mentioning is the Star Wars movies. A lot of it, the effects and the acting do not hold up. And if you watch it with the time frame it was made in mind, you'll appreciate it a lot more. And I think that's important to do. I think whoever's watching Star Wars should obviously not expect modern filmmaking techniques to be in it. Like modern filmmaking technology, maybe I should say. And I do think a lot of the acting in the original trilogy is subpar.
I guess to follow on that is why I rank Force Awakens one up on A New Hope. To me, I think that like if you look at a movie like Empire, I think the acting, at least from the main core, is on point. With as much as I love it, I can't deny that there's going to be goofy moments from Luke. There's going to be goofy moments from Leia.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm happy
you agree.
There are and I love the movie. And you can attack me, like anybody listening. You can attack me if you want, but there are cringy moments within Star Wars.
I'm happy you agree because I don't want to argue. Yes, that's really nice to finally hear someone else say that. It's something that's not really talked about in like the nerd sphere online about Star Wars, the original. At least that I've heard, the original trilogy.
I feel like the original trilogy is very protected and sacred. You don't want to bash on things, especially Star Wars. I'll point out I like to call it Star Wars because that's what it is, but so many people just know it as A New Hope now. I just go with it. But yeah.
It's alright. I get what you're saying either way. But yeah, I also like a lot of effects, of course, don't hold up, but for its time and for what it did for movies, like, you have to respect it. And just like there are amazing moments. Like I said, the sunset is incredible. Anyways, beyond that, okay. I go back and forth. It's what I'm just forgetting. I don't have Empire, I don't have Last Jedi, I don't have The Force Awakens, right? I've used everything else. Okay.
Yes. Down to your last 3, your top 3.
Okay. It's hard because I've had time to sit on each movie longer. So, like, maybe if you ask me in 10 years, it'll change. I can almost guarantee you it'll change. I think about The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and Empire. And I think The Force Awakens and Last Jedi work better because of modern filmmaking. But I also have to respect Empire for what it does beyond its, it's maybe subpar acting or subpar effects. So for number 3, I've had longer to sit on The Force Awakens. Like, The Force Awakens, just like, ever since I've seen it, I still think about how amazing that movie is. Okay, I can't do ties because ties are for the weak. But
that's right, you gotta do it.
At this moment, okay, just at this moment, I'm gonna say,
Because think, if you put Empire at 3, buildings will crash and burn. There'll be an uprising. People will be like,
I know. Don't worry.
But don't let that factor in.
No, of course not. I don't give a shit. About someone, other Star Wars fans gonna get angry. Okay, hold on. Let me think. You know what? I just realized episode 10 is a special episode because we're going long. Okay.
Hey, that's right.
Okay, fuck. You know what, Ben? I have to do this. I have to do this. Okay. It hurts my soul, but all 3 of these are so tight together. You know what? No, I just realized I don't like that. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just changed my mind, and I know what I'm doing.
Take your time to think about this.
I know what I'm doing. I just changed my mind. I know what I'm doing, and oh wait, no, I don't. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna do this for now. Just for now. This is what it is. Okay. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Okay, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi are so close for me. I know where Empire's going, but I'm trying to think of where all 3 go, because I don't want to ruin it. I know where Empire's going, but The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi are just like, man, The Force Awakens is more consistently good, but the highs of The Last Jedi are so fucking high that it's a balancing act with what the fuck do I put for 3? Okay, let's say I'm going to do, okay, number 3 is The Force Awakens.
Hey, so as of now, our lists are spot on.
Shit. Okay.
See? Ooh. What's going to happen?
Okay, I'll tell you what's going to happen.
I feel like we need a drum roll.
Okay. I'll drum roll for number 2, okay? Give me a drum, or you give me a drum roll.
It won't sound good. It won't sound good with my desk.
Okay, here, you ready?
We can edit that in.
No, fuck that. That means I have to go back and find
that's true.
Time.
Yeah, that's right. We were unedited. What am I talking about?
Yeah, we're uncut. Let's uncut and edit. Here we go. The Last Jedi.
Oh, okay, so we have the exact same list.
We got the same list.
The exact same list. Okay.
So I just wasted like 15 minutes of everyone's
Hey,
lives.
you know what? The build-up is fantastic.
All right. Last Jedi is amazing. Let me just talk about Empire because we just did a whole fucking thing on The Last Jedi. Honestly, I think of one kind of all the stuff with Yoda on Empire lifts that movie to a whole other level. Just Yoda as a character himself, and the confrontation in what's it called where Luke fights Vader.
Bespin.
No, sorry, the
Cloud
the
City
dream.
Bespin.
No, like the dream.
Oh, there. The cave in Dagobah.
Dagobah, yeah, the cave. I wasn't sure if it had like a special name.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Anyways, that's just like. Also, I've had longer to sit on Empire and think about it. You know, Empire has solidified itself within film history too. So I feel like that does a little bit for me. So,
like for me personally, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie of all time. It's
wow. Okay.
It for my like I don't want to get into like my top whatever films of all time because there's so many. But I know my top 2 two. It would be Empire Strikes Back and The Godfather.
Wow. See, Empire's like top 10, top 15 for me. So, but saying that, like, that's why I think Last Jedi and putting The Last Jedi on a kind of top 10 of all time list or top 20 of all time feels weird just because I don't think I've had enough time to think about it. But putting Empire on there does feel normal because, I mean, I've seen it. I saw it a long time ago. I've seen it multiple times. I get its place in film culture, and so I think like the Empire still suffers from some of the stuff we talked about earlier, you know, the effects of the 80s or some of the acting, but like The Last Jedi has flaws too, but they all work. It's just, yeah, Empire's up there.
For me, when I look at Empire, which is where I'll differ here, is with acting. I think that there's definitely extras that have some bad lines. Like there's one guy who stands out, I forget his name, and it's on Hoth, and he says, 2 fighters against a Star Destroyer, and it's like, what the I mean, it's so bad that it's so good, but for me, I think Mark kills it. I think Harrison kills it, and I think Carrie kills it. I mean, that's when you even get a quick glimpse of Emperor in there, Vader. You take Vader from, he had a minimal role in Star Wars, but a powerful one, and you build him up, and he's so good. You get you know what? Here's what I'll give you that. Where acting may not be as good. It is the reveal of "No, I am your friend." And okay, you know what? That's one of the most misquoted. Yeah. That's one of the most misquoted lines of all time. It's like, "Luke, I'm your father." That's not the line. And I remember somebody was doing this quiz thing, and it was like, "What movie had the line Luke, I'm your father?" I'm like, "Wait a minute." It's not the line.
Yeah, no movie has that quote, except a Star Wars parody or someone making a Star Wars joke.
Exactly. But in that moment when Luke does, no, that's impossible. But it works though
yeah.
You know, as a kid, Luke is still my favorite Star Wars character, but he would, like, as a kid, he was the guy. And I didn't really care about Han that much as a kid, but the older I got, the more I can resonate with Han. I can see some of my own traits in Han, and he's built his way up there. I love Han, which I did as a kid, but I didn't appreciate him as much as I do now.
Yeah, Han's cool. I just leaned back from the mic. Hopefully it doesn't sound any different. I'm just stretching. Han's cool. Luke's cool. To me, it's just no one comes close to Yoda. Yoda is just so funny and so profound that I just like. I love Yoda. No one compares. Like, you could have your Han and your Lukes, but like Yoda all day, every day.
You know, to bounce off that, The Last Jedi is why I'm so glad they had Puppet Yoda.
Yeah, it was so good.
And like I've heard people say, like, well, fucking, I don't agree with Rian Johnson of why he didn't have Obi-Wan in there, and his reasoning was, well, the reason why I didn't want to have Obi-Wan in here is because we didn't have the connection of Mark with Ewan's Obi-Wan. We had it with Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan, which I can understand, and which is why you don't have a CG Yoda, which is why you have the puppet Yoda. That's who we've had the connection with, which to me makes sense. And
yeah,
I love that scene. I
forgot CGI Yoda. When I was just nutting over a Yoda there. I forgot CGI Yoda was a thing. So fuck that.
Do you remember Puppet Yoda in Phantom Menace?
No.
Yeah, there was Puppet Yoda in Phantom Menace. Go look at pictures, which looking at Puppet Yoda in Phantom Menace is why, like, I'm okay with them going CG Yoda. If you go back and look at the pictures of Puppet Yoda. it doesn't work for that time. He was in the original theatrical release, but then when George did the DVD changes is when
oh, really?
You had CG in Phantom Menace. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. All right. Oh man, I'm exhausted. I feel like I've put so much passion into this. Fuck, I'm so tired.
And I feel like there's a lot of things I want to mention too.
I just looked at Puppet Yoda. He looks like a fucking gremlin.
Yes, he does not look good.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. Oh, it's gonna haunt me.
You know what? We'll maybe even do it even more. Watch go on YouTube and type in Puppet Yoda Phantom Menace and watch Puppet Yoda Phantom Menace.
Okay, I'll do that later.
Yeah, do it later. But Okay, there's something I want to talk about, and we don't have to talk about it long, but I feel like it could turn into something long. And there could be a lot of haters with it. Because, okay, so Mark Hamill's talking about George Lucas's vision for Luke and what would have been his sequel trilogy, and how he wouldn't have killed Luke off until episode 9. Let me mention is that I've heard people say with The Last Jedi that, hey, what if you just, like, once after he says, see you around, kid, and just, that's it. Then they pick him up, and he's there for episode 9. Sure, I would have, whatever. I would have been fine with that, but the ending he got in 8 was the ending I didn't know I wanted. And I remember in The Force Awakens, after seeing it, the one thing I didn't want to see was if Luke's going to go, I don't want to see him go from Snoke, because it's like Luke Skywalker. Yeah. Then you're just building Snoke to be a bad guy to, like...
It's what they already did with Kylo. Why do it again?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. And which is why I'm glad the ending he got. I thought it was beautiful and made the film. I don't think the film would have been as powerful without that ending. And they even set it up when the first connection between Rey and Kylo is how you're not doing this, because if you did it, it'd tear you apart. It's a big thing to do. But to go on to George's vision, and I'll present what was known to you and tell me what you think about it. So, which was, more was revealed with the art of The Last Jedi, and obviously some stuff was talked about for Force Awakens. And one of the things what George's vision, I guess what his quick treatment was of it, was that episode 7 would be focusing on a female Jedi named Kira, which ultimately became Rey, and she would find Luke in episode 7. Luke would be kind of how he is now, grumpy old man, and then he would... And in this time, they had the character of Kylo Ren, Jedi Killer, who they were thinking about having the kid of Han and Leia, but it wasn't official then. It was just the Jedi Killer. And Luke trained this young girl, Kira, up. And this would all happen in episode 7, and then they're off to the races from there. And which, essentially, you still got that story, except JJ and Lawrence Kasdan made that into a film with not having Luke... Essentially, 8 would have been somewhat of George's 7, and it was just stretched out, which... One of the problems I felt with the prequels that nothing was built upon. Nothing had a payoff. It was just like, here's a lot of shit, here's a lot of shit, here's a lot of shit, and there it is. And then now, hearing that, oh, well, he would have died in 9. To me, I was like, okay, whatever, sure. But, I heard a lot of people talking about that. I didn't care, but I'll present that to you. What do you think about George's? Would you have wanted to see George's sequel trilogy? What do you think of what it's known of that he wanted to do?
I think I wouldn't change what we have. I wouldn't have picked. Like, I think George's idea is more predictable. If you said, there's a new Star Wars trilogy coming out, and we haven't had The Force Awakens or Last Jedi yet. I would assume, there's this new character, the way there is in each movie. Each trilogy has a new one lead, and I would probably assume that they're going to be, raised by or, trained by Luke, or Luke is going to have a big part of it. But what we got is something that I wouldn't have expected, where Luke, the main character from the most acclaimed trilogy, is nowhere to be seen until the very end of the movie. So... I don't there's so many other directions it could have gone. George's is just one. I say George like I'm his fucking best friend. George Lucas's is just one direction. Not the band, not the boy band, but where am I going with this shit? Sorry, I'm so exhausted. But I like what we got. Don't change it, because there's a million other ideas. Like, I love Rey. I love Kylo Ren, who he is as a villain. I love the Luke we got. So
yeah, I love the Luke we got. I love
Kylo Ren's a better villain than Vader.
Hey, you know what? I'll address that in a second.
Okay.
But the find that they got with Daisy Ridley, someone who never acted in a feature,
so good.
The odds of picking out someone like that and for her to be so great is amazing.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to the next best thing they got.
Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver together are amazing.
Driver was, they're amazing together, but the pull to get Adam Driver, it sounded like, to get Adam Driver is such a great pull. He is so good. And even when you watch the behind the scenes, the documentary of them talking about him. Like, when he is on set, he is Kylo Ren. Don't you fuck with him on set. He is in a mindset, and hearing them talk about that, it's such a, at this point, Darth Vader is more iconic, but I care, I think, more about Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
My two favorites of the new trilogy: Rey, Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Darth Vader's definitely
together,
more iconic, but I think
together,
Kylo's a stronger villain.
I want more of that.
Right? Like, holy shit, where The Last Jedi leaves off with Rey and Kylo Ren's relationship is so complex. Just like,
yeah,
like he's the villain and she's the hero, and they don't like each other, but they have this connection. They understand each other now. They have this understanding that they didn't have before The Last Jedi. And going into a new episode of Star Wars with those characters, understanding where everyone comes from, like, I think that, like, the doors are open, man. Like, that's sweet.
I still think there's a strong possibility that you get Kylo Ren, not necessarily redeemed, but like, I would be okay with him saying, like, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna go on my own path.
Yeah,
and not die. He's so good that, like, I don't want to see him die, but
yeah,
I don't know. I whatever JJ and Chris Terrio give me, I'm there for.
Yeah, I trust them. I think.
Yeah, I do trust. I do trust in them.
Episode 9. Yeah, I'm curious though, because like JJ's style and Rian Johnson's style is completely different.
So
like,
different.
Narratively,
So different.
like what JJ did, like you could tell he's a huge Star Wars fan and he loves his mystery box. He loves his questions. Rian Johnson, not so much. I could tell he's a big movie fan, and he's not a big fan of this mystery box stuff. So like the two movies, I feel like two completely different movies. Like, but it works. Like, I'm not complaining. It works for what it is. And I'm super curious to see if JJ changes what Rian Johnson did. If he's gonna add backstory to Snoke. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? Fuck. Anyways, I'll mention it in a bit. If he's gonna bring back some backstory for Snoke, or
I don't think so, and I don't want it.
If you know what, I don't want it. However, if it happens, I don't care, because I think The Last Jedi would still be amazing on its own. I don't think it's going to affect The Last Jedi.
I don't think, to me, it wouldn't affect Last Jedi. I just think you're taking away such valuable time in the last movie of a trilogy that we don't need to hear about.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
There's a small thing of like Kylo's,
or even Rey's parents.
Something. Okay, for that I think is the most likely thing JJ could retcon.
I think it's fine if he does.
Okay, if he does, I don't care. As long as it's in a good way. Yeah. But at the same time, I think that the reveal is it's nice. I think it's also powerful.
Yeah, I agree.
And even the way Ryan looked at it is that
it's important
easy
to
make
movie.
her Skywalker, but what's something that the character doesn't want to hear? And one thing that I'll pose this to you is that I hear a lot of people say, well, you can't necessarily believe Kylo Ren because he's a villain. He's just gonna try to recruit her. But if you look at the Star Wars trilogies and you look at the bad guys, the villains, the Sith, the villains, they don't deal in lies. They'll be upfront. They'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And they'll play fair ball. So to me, that's why I never thought that, Kylo Ren's trying to manipulate her. I mean, as much as Palpatine manipulated people, he was giving it straight up.
Yeah. I think it's really important for The Last Jedi that her parents are nobody. But I'm not sure how I feel about how important it is for the trilogy as a whole. But I think in my heart, The Last Jedi will be fine no matter what. The Last Jedi still works as its own.
Yeah. I don't think it will I don't think it'll take away anything, but if you look at Empire, and as much as George planned out the trilogy, it was not planned for Leia to be Luke's sister.
Yeah, no duh.
And you look back at Empire, yeah.
No duh. Who the fuck says no duh? No shit. I hate
no
myself.
And if you like, one of the things Rian Johnson said on this panel was on South by Southwest. He was talking about the moment that Rey and Kylo Ren touch hands, and he was saying this is the closest thing to a sex scene in Star Wars there's ever going to be. So for his intent behind that, if they go around and say, all right, Rey, she's a Skywalker, I think you're going up potentially. I mean, it's a creepy. It's like that may be a bit more creepy than the Luke Leia kiss, only because if you have the intent of that to be the closest thing to a sex scene,
I-
and they turn out to be related, it's gonna be oh my.
That's got to be a
oh
little
my.
bit of hyperbole though, because that scene doesn't feel like a sex scene. There's nothing
To
sexual
me,
about their
to me,
relationship.
to me, it felt very intimate.
Really?
Intimate.
Okay.
Yeah, that scene, yeah.
I mean,
I took it as potential feelings there.
huh? I don't think they're gonna be related. Anyways,
I hope not.
oh yeah, I wanted to mention the deleted scene with Phasma and Finn.
It's
And
so bad.
Oh, I like
mean,
it.
Ooh.
Oh, I like it.
It
Except
felt so ridiculous, especially like when you get the close up of her eye and then she's looking like, and takes out the blaster and it's like a quick boom, 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 and then
oh, that was
the thing I
cool.
think
That
that's
was
so
sick. That
corny
was so
is
good.
when I hated the delivery that John Boyega gave of Rebel Scum. I don't think that line.
Oh yeah,
the
no.
delivery worked.
I didn't think that worked
there.
that well either. But when Phasma kills all the stormtroopers, I thought that was so cool. Anyways,
it didn't work for me.
I the reason I brought it up though is because the shot of Phasma flying away with the previs visual effects was just funny.
Yeah.
That should made me laugh. Okay, okay, I'm getting tired. I gotta lean back on this chair. What?
Hey, you said 10 is a special. It's jam packed.
All right, now I'm leaning. I
going
moved the
all
mic
in.
a little closer, so let's fucking do it. What? I have we have a comment that is for you because I have no clue how to respond to it. It's all for you.
My.
So we have to get to that.
This comment's making me nervous. Remember last week, didn't I have one? I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you've had
more directed towards
2
me.
weeks in a row or whatever about you.
Oh, my.
For you to respond to.
You know what? There are two things that I would like to mention, so we could wrap up Star Wars because this is long.
Yeah,
we can go long. I'm fine with that. But Last Jedi, great movie. Get the Blu Ray, see it. Star Wars, love it. Keep it going. Can't wait to see Ryan's trilogy. Can't wait to see the Game of Thrones guys, what they're gonna do. And Solo's coming up. Jacked up for that. And hopefully it's a nice addition to some great films we got.
Hopefully. All right, yeah. Love Star Wars. See The Last Jedi. See The Force Awakens. You're fine if you see or don't see Rogue One. Scared for Solo. I think they're making too many Star Wars movies. However, for now, they have some amazing movies that you should see because they're fucking. Oh, I catch a sneeze on my hand.
Nice.
Anyways, shit. We're off the rails here now. Okay, yeah. Star Wars. Great.
Going on.
Just fucking see them. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, see it. Just see it. Just do it.
Is there a Star Wars movie you haven't seen? Well, you should see it unless it's some of the prequels, in which case don't bother seeing it. Anyways, we're just rambling now.
Okay, you know what? To mumble on. This will be very short. And again, all film is subjective, but I had this debate with somebody about a year ago, and this guy loves the prequels, and I didn't take it away from him. I was like, hey, if you love them,
then he's wrong.
Good on you.
Just kidding. That's just me being tired.
We were talking about character because we were talking about Force Awakens and the prequels, and he was saying that the Force Awakens just didn't do anything for character. The characterizations were just terrible, and how the prequels, the characterizations was just so good. And I was like, dude, all film is subjective. I get it, and you can love your prequels, but to say that the prequels, like, there was no character in any of these people. You just threw them in there and they did shit. I didn't care about them. What am I supposed to care about Anakin because we know he's Darth Vader? I don't care. You didn't build him to be anything. It was fucking yeah. That was, since they were mumbling on, I figured I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, I strongly disagree. It's like the Force Awakens is one of the better character studies in the Star Wars universe, and
yeah,
to compare it to compare it to the prequels, like, get out of here, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do we have to talk about? We have to get to that comment. You wanted to talk about a movie you saw.
I'm going to talk about a movie I saw, and I'm going to talk about 3 movies I watched, but they're all in one. And the 3, it's not as long as it sounds.
Okay.
I'm just going to give a shout out to those. So, do you want me to go to those, or are we going to go to this comment?
Let's do. You know what? I'm gonna do the comment now because I think if I keep going and get more tired, I won't even be able to read. So let's do.
All right.
Let's do this comment. Here we go. Just gonna whip it up here, and it's actually about. Before I even read it, it's about Karate Kid.
My.
I haven't read the full comment yet. However, this is from Tanya.
is probably gonna take like I knew the moment when I didn't get Johnny's name or I called him Jonathan. I'm like that just took away all my Karate Kid cred.
I don't know if Tanya has mentioned your incorrect naming, but would you like me to read it now? Are you ready?
Let's go for it.
All right.
I'm ready for it.
So I know nothing about Karate Kid, so this is all you. I don't even remember some of your specifics in your rant, just because all the names kind of bleed together.
Oh man, I don't even remember my rant.
Okay,
I just remember.
I believe just skimming over, this person is defending it. Maybe we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see. Or maybe just giving an idea of where the film's gonna go. Okay, so here we go. Karate Kid for the second week in a row. All right. So Tanya says, so watched the Karate Kid trailer a few times. Yes, Daniel is acting like a spoiled brat, and I'm not sure why they are going this direction. I'm going to assume he feels Johnny is going to turn the kids into a bunch of assholes like he was when he was younger, or maybe he's just pissy he didn't open a studio to teach kids. Either way, I feel they shouldn't have even made this. And if there is ever a remake of The Outsiders, I will be pissed. Okay, I thought they were defending it. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I have no clue any of it
my
means.
thoughts on, you know what? I'll start with The Outsiders. That was a movie also that I watched growing up. I dig it, and yeah, let's not go for it. Let's not remake it. I'll show another movie that I was so scared they were gonna. Again, not scared because whatever. If it sucked, whatever. But Roadhouse. I love Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze. And when Ronda Rousey was at the height of her career, they were gonna do a Roadhouse reboot, but with her in the lead. And what? Ronda Rousey in the lead? Roadhouse? Don't do it. Glad that I'm not gonna say I'm glad.
I remember
she
her.
losing
I forgot she
fall.
existed. That woman.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey. At one time, she was a huge star. She starred in Expendables 3, and then she had like 3 movies that she was gonna star in, and then she lost a few fights and.
Yeah, weird.
Yep,
that's just
it.
like losing fights could just throw her whole career down the toilet like that. That's kind of sad. I mean, it's kind of sad. But anyways, what are your thoughts on that Karate Kid stuff?
Back to Karate Kid. Again, yeah, it's like Karate Kid. Daniel LaRusso is like the ultimate, like, that's the kid you want to root for him. His fucking asshole's fucking with him. He's such a nice kid, and it's just so nice to see his arc. And it's maybe see, I'll look at it from somebody who didn't like the arc of Luke, though. It's that, but then there's where I gotta disagree because it makes so much sense of why he's an angry old man and why he's on an island. And at the end of the day, he's the one who's, is the ray of hope. LaRusso, what the fuck happened with the guy? He just turned into such a prick. And yeah, he seems like a spoiled fucking asshole. And yeah, maybe he is jealous that Johnny opened up a studio, but at the same time, like, when you go to confront him about it, wouldn't you be open-minded, not be like, yo, you and me, this shit ain't done. We're gonna fight. Like, why are you you guys made up at the end of Karate Kid. There's, fucking why? It feels like it takes what happened in Karate Kid and just kind of flushes it down the toilet just to create some tension in there. Like, I'm okay with make your Cobra Kai series, have it about Johnny, and have him train this kid. And yeah, it does seem similar to now Johnny is the Miyagi to like this new kid is like a Daniel LaRusso. I'm cool with that, but then why do you have to make LaRusso an asshole? Why does he have to be the asshole? Like, you can have him in there, but is he just a dick to be a dick? Is he just to make just to switch it around? Like, hey, let's just make LaRusso the dick because Johnny was a dick before. It seems so out of character for LaRusso. And from the 3 movies, it just seems so out of character. It just does not seem like the same guy. This guy who I'm supposed to root for, he's such a nice guy. He's not a dick. Now he's a dick. What's going on? And I think it comes out May 2nd, and I'll watch it, and I'll talk about it here, but oh man, I'm so in the middle because there's parts that I'm like, hey, this could be good, and then there's some parts that like, is this supposed to be funny? Supposed to be serious? And then you throw me with the LaRusso thing, and I'm like, man, why are we doing this? That's my thoughts on that. Did you watch the trailer?
No, I haven't watched the trailer, and I don't care to because Karate Kid just like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, We'll see come May 2nd, which is coming up soon. I'll talk about it. But I really don't like okay, and again, it was just a trailer. I can't judge it because I haven't seen it. But from what they showed in the trailer, I'm like, man, I don't like some decisions that were made.
All right. Well, I hope Tanya appreciates your reply to her comments.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm sure she does. Thank you very much for Tanya for the comment. If anyone else wants to leave comments, we're at Jake and Ben Show on Twitter and Facebook, or you could drop it on the YouTube comments. You'll find it. If you just like somewhere where it's involved with us, we'll find it. We'll respond to it. So
yeah.
Oh,
So-
God. I'm just exhausted. Hold on. Let me just
Okay.
take a breath here.
Yeah, take a breath. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to talk about, real quick, I'm going to shout out the movie I watched. Now, I'm flipping through the channels, and I see Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I'm going to start with, I had never seen a Mission Impossible movie. I'm like, okay,
Hey.
I'll watch like 10 minutes, and if I like it, I'll go back and watch.
Rogue Nation's the fifth one, right?
Yeah, the fifth one, the last one. So
Yeah.
I watched about 10 minutes. I'm like, hey, I dig this. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to go watch some of the other ones. Now, from what people said, like, you could watch 1 and 2, but like what hits is the J.J. Abrams one, which is 3, and then Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation. So I watch Mission Impossible 3. I really liked it.
So you skipped 1 and 2?
Yeah, I skipped 1 and 2. I'll go back and watch them before.
I hear 1 is
the next one.
watchable.
Yeah, I heard it was watchable, but I heard that like the one that it was really hitting its stride was 3.
Oh, I thought everyone loved 1 too. I thought just 2 everyone hated.
I didn't go and quiz a bunch of people. I just
That's fair.
Yeah, so I'll watch it, and so I start with 3. I like the film. I go to 4, and I really like 4 also. But for me, how I felt about 3 and 4 is that like the third act, it was like okay, it felt like kind of anticlimactic. I get to Rogue Nation. Love the movie. I love it. I won't go into like a full review, but I think the third act hits, and I loved it. And why I wanted to watch them is because the last few times I've been at the movies, they've been playing the Mission Impossible Fallout trailer, and I most know that film for it to be Mustache Gate. Henry Cavill with his mustache. When they did the reshoots for Justice League, in his contract he couldn't shave the mustache, so then they had to CGI the mustache out, digitally remove it. So I'm like, man, I want to see this mustache in motion. So when I watched the trailer, at first I didn't care about it, but then I've been seeing it in theaters, and I'm like, you know what? This is actually a pretty good trailer. This movie looks good. So I watched the other ones, and then watching the trailer now, I'm like, man, we did a top 10 list, like in our second episode, or first maybe, and Mission Impossible Fallout, just from watching the last 3 and seeing the trailer again with more context, that would definitely be in my top 10. That movie I can't wait for. And one thing, when I first watched the trailer with more interest, there's a shot of Henry Cavill in a bathroom, and he's like squaring up. Henry Cavill, to the average person, is a huge man, and he trains in, I think, jiu-jitsu. He's a badass. I think his girlfriend is Gina Carano, I believe, or maybe ex-girlfriend, but she's a badass also. She was a former fighter, and so I see the shot, and I'm like, man, I so don't want to see him fight Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise win. Because no matter how, and again, I know it's a movie, it's Tom Cruise's movie, of course he'd win if they fight, but like, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, this guy's so huge, he's squaring up, and this guy knows his shit. If they were to ever actually fight, Henry Cavill would fucking kill Tom Cruise. Now, I watched the trailer again, and I'm like, I don't think that's going to be the big showdown. I think that Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise, somehow they're going to team up. I think there's misdirection there. Only based on, there's a line that he gives Angela Bassett, and he's like, how many times is government going to turn their back on this guy until, he goes crazy? So maybe I'm wrong, and even if that's the showdown, that's awesome, because within at least the 3 I've watched, there hasn't been like, the villain has never been a physical villain, as if Henry Cavill wouldn't be a villain because he's part of the CIA, but if that's the showdown, it's definitely going to be physical. And Tom Cruise, I gotta say, he's a great actor, but fascinates me. The guy is interesting. First of all, if I'm 55, I want to look like Tom Cruise. If I gotta join Scientology, I'm not religious, but if I gotta join Scientology, look like Tom Cruise at 55, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But and I heard a story, and I think it's a hilarious story, which is why I think this guy like you can't be such a great actor and good looking and not be crazy. Like, you gotta be fucked up somewhere. So the story I heard of Tom Cruise is that he goes to this Super Bowl party and he gets his people to buy him like a brand new football. He brings it to this Super Bowl party, and these people are talking about, I think, why I don't remember the full story, but I'll give credit where it is. I heard it on Joe Rogan's podcast, and if you're curious to hear more about it, look that up on YouTube. And they're talking, like, these people are talking about wives, and Tom Cruise walks in and he's like, you know, the best thing about being married is you get to fuck your wife. Everybody's like, what the fuck? What? And yeah, I think that's a great Tom Cruise story, and he fascinates me.
That's probably
Weird
the
man,
best
but
Tom Cruise story, actually.
probably the best one out there. Probably is.
He's not the one with the dead kid, right? That's John Travolta, right? He's the
Yeah,
Scientology dead kid.
I don't think Tom Cruise is a dead kid.
Because John Travolta wouldn't like hospitalize his kid or give him medication because of Scientology or something, and he died.
That might be the case.
Yeah, shit angers me, boy.
I gotta say, not to make this all like, I don't want to go on religion. I have my thoughts on it, but like, if you're religious, I can get being behind God, Jesus, Allah, whoever you pray. But like Scientology, that was created by a man. He put out a book, and it just sprung off from there.
Isn't that
if you want to,
like
if you want to
Christianity
know
as well?
well, yeah, and I totally agree. I fall on the same basis. But like, I can wrap my head around you people being down with God, Jesus, whatever it may be. But like, at least you can track the history of where Scientology started, and it's like, really? But you know what? If you want to, there's a network, a Scientology network that was recently put out, and they got this dude who hosts it. Is just so terrible. I heard clips of it, and it's funny but terrible. But yeah, Scientology. Oh, yeah, whatever. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, thumbs up. Go see Mission Impossible.
You know what? The only Mission Impossible movie I've seen is Rogue Nation, and I love it. And I'm hoping maybe I'll go back and watch the others before the new one. I don't even remember seeing the trailer for the new one. I don't even know if I have.
I would highly recommend it. I think it's a great trailer.
When does it come out?
It comes out July 20th.
Okay, maybe I'll see. I am sure I may have seen it like in the theater before another release.
It was one of the we talked about Super Bowl trailers, and we didn't talk about that one only because I didn't have much interest in it. Which now I guess I kind of regret because I love it. But we can talk about that another time. Mission Impossible, thumbs up.
Yeah, we can
check them out.
Maybe we could do like a whole Mission Impossible episode before the one comes out. We just talk about all the Mission Impossible movies. That'd be cool.
I'd be down with that. Yeah.
All right, I gotta watch them though.
So to end this off, our last little thing. We've went long. It's a big one.
Man,
this is jam packed. We went all in. So to end it off, if you made it this far, congratulations.
Yeah,
you will receive a sucker in the mail if you made it this far. JK lols, if that's what people say. We're gonna talk about Ready Player. I'll talk about Ready Player. Does anybody say that? I remember that was big. Like
what?
When I was in high school,
JK
people would say
lols?
lols. Yeah, JK lols. I never got it. Like, why is that funny?
It's just like it's
like people that say LOL in person. Don't say LOL. Just laugh. And if it's not funny, don't say anything. Don't laugh. What's up with that?
I don't know. It's it's a thing, I guess. I feel like I used to say lol. It's almost like a sarcastic, condescending thing where it's like lol.
Yeah. Well, I see. I can get behind that, but I had a friend who. In some moments he would do it like that, but he was very like serious when he'd say lols.
That's weird.
What are you doing, dude? Yeah, it was very odd.
Anyways, no discriminating those who say lol on this podcast, Ben.
Exactly. If you say it, own it. So, Ready Player One.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just say just one thing? Yeah.
You can say whatever you please.
Ready Player One. I don't know your thoughts on it. However, I'm super curious because I've heard really negative things, I've heard really positive things, and I've heard in between. I've seen this shit be all over the board more than any other movie I could think of right now. So I'm curious your thoughts. I haven't seen it. I was hoping maybe I'd go tonight with my girlfriend, but she is working late now, so I don't think I'll be going tonight. However, I have to go see this and Pacific Rim because I still want to see that. So please, Ben, without spoiling the movie, I want to know your thoughts.
I'll be quick with it. Because I'll say this. The trailers didn't get me excited at all. When I seen the first one, I was like, I don't care. The second one, I was like, okay, I can vibe with this a bit. and I just didn't care about anything. I thought the Oasis would be just a drag. So I seen it on Thursday, and I dug it. I really dug it. It is I love Spielberg, and I not to discredit his I guess more serious movies, not to discredit them, because he's doing great movies that are more, but I love him when he does a Ready Player One and Indiana Jones and I love it. So for me, I ate it up.
Good.
The Oasis, I don't think it takes away from the film. I thought it would just be I thought it'd be jarring, but it was not. I did dig the story. I dug the film as a whole. Again, the year is young, so it'd be ridiculous to say a favorite, and I mentioned that a few weeks ago, but it would, as of now, it would be, I want to say it would be, it could maybe get to 1 more I think about it, but right now it's at the 2 or 3.
Whoa.
Can't decide if I like Black Panther or Ready Player One more.
Okay, hold on. I feel like when you talked about Love, Simon, you said it's amazing. And now
No.
you come
I didn't
here
say it
with
was
Ready
amazing.
Player
I just
One.
thought it was. For me, I really liked it.
Okay, because I remember Love, Simon being a 9, and now you're saying Ready Player
Yeah.
One, you dig it, but it has potential to be above Love, Simon.
If I think about it more, I might. Yeah, I gotta think about it more because it's still very fresh.
Okay. I'm super curious. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Your concluding statement about the movie sounded way more positive than your review. So I'm very interested to see it, because I'm just very curious. I have one question for you.
Okay, ask away.
I hear from people who are lukewarm to negative on the movie. I hear one consistent between them and between people who loved it. There's a sequence involving The Shining that is amazing, apparently.
I would agree.
Okay. I want to see it for that alone. Like, I'm legit, like, I don't give a shit about the rest of the movie, but I'm super excited for that. The Shining's one of my favorite movies. I got my Shining tattoos, and I want to see that.
Yeah, it's definitely a highlight in the film. I would agree there. Like, the thing with Ready Player One is that I remember walking out. I really did love it walking out.
Okay.
And I just need to think about it more.
Okay. That's
because
fair.
There's not to say there's a lot to unpack, but there's a lot of things I got to ask myself if I really enjoyed as much as I thought I did. Because walking out of it, it would be my number 1. It would be. And what just happened there? Did you hear that?
No, I yawned a little, but...
My laptop just tweaked out, and it just started saying, "My name is..."
What? Wait. What? Like, my name is, like...
It just said "My name is," and it's not the Eminem. It wasn't an Eminem
Okay.
song.
But you're still recording, right? We still got this?
It's recording. No, it's recording now.
Okay,
I just
we're
don't
good.
know what happened there. And I hope that didn't get picked up in the recording. But if it did, I don't know what the hell happened.
I didn't hear it, but I hope it got picked up. Okay.
Okay.
I'm curious, though,
again,
because, you walked out loving
I didn't
it.
I didn't want to say... Like, I don't want to give too much. Go check it out, and when you check it out, we'll dig more into it. I really liked it. I think the soundtrack is amazing, and even the score, Alan Silvestri's score is great. I think it's a really fun movie to watch. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was an awesome time, and to that, I was reading that it's on pace to make around 53 million opening weekend, which
Is that good?
Which I do think that's good.
But it looks like it was made for a lot. Like, it's got to be...
Well, yeah, I got to imagine it's a big budget. So knowing the budget, I guess, would factor into it. I think probably internationally, it'll do much better than domestically. I feel like we're in such a time that if you don't hear 100 million, you're like, is that good?
Yeah, no.
But like, to make 100 million, it's like, wow, that's amazing.
I'm not trying to
But
be like that person. I'm
yeah,
just
no,
saying, like...
yeah, I know you're not. It was something I
Oh, okay.
was, it's something I've been thinking. Not to say you are. I've just heard people that think that like Take Solo, for example. If it comes out and makes 70 million, there's going to be a lot of people that say that's a bomb, and they're not going to realize that's good. Just because, considering the day and age we live in. Ready Player One. I'm trying to think like if there's more I want to say to it without spoiling anything. I gotta say, watching the movie and thinking of the trailers. These trailers borderline give you such spoilers, but then they cut the trailer in such a way that it's not a spoiler.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. And okay, this is something I gotta say, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay.
So, and just follow me before you want to say something, because maybe it'll come off weird at first. And maybe you're one of these people that does this, and if you do, I don't understand it. Maybe you can help me. Is this? I was so surprised it happened in Ready Player One, and it's applauding after film and cheering. And now stay with me here.
Okay.
If you're at a screening with like the director, the crew, the cast, and you applaud them afterwards, I can understand they're there. If you are seeing this movie and this cast and crew are nowhere to be found, they're far away from you, why are we clapping and applauding? Why are we screaming? I don't get it. And like the thing I could somewhat get, I remember when The Force Awakens came out, and then at Lucasfilm a long time ago, a Galaxy Far Far Away came out, and people were like, yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, I can get that. I can understand.
Did you cheer for The Force Awakens at any moment? Like clap or go woo?
I had the woos, but like I didn't clap at the end because I just think it's so ridiculous. Why am I clapping for a film and nobody who made it is here? Am I clapping for myself? What am I doing here? Why am I clapping? So I didn't clap for Force Awakens, but I gave woos. I was definitely Ric Flairing it up. I was doing the woo. So I can't do the Ric Flair version of it. So yeah, it was. I don't understand it. Fucking people are clapping, and for like I don't get it. Can you help me understand?
Yeah. Okay. Here, I'll give you my 2 cents. First of all, I think I want to put The Force Awakens as number 2.
Oh. Okay.
Just because this conversation got me thinking. You started talking about how clapping's stupid, and then I instantly thought about The Force Awakens, but you mentioned it, thankfully, and it just reminded me of the feeling watching The Force Awakens, and I think that's what I'm going to get into. I think people who clap at the end of movies is ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
What you were saying, like with the director there, and like sort of the crew members of the cast, makes sense because you're actually showing your appreciation towards them. The people involved in the movie. Yeah. But when no one's there, you're not clapping for anyone.
Am I clapping for a screen myself? Yeah. What's going on
here? You're clapping for the projectionist who just screened the movie, even though I think it's just a computer based. I don't think they actually do anything. I think it's all a timer. Or you're clapping for the movie theater employees who are waiting at the bottom of the stairs with their garbage can to pick up your garbage. Those are the only people who you should be clapping for at that moment. But saying that, I clapped at moments in The Force Awakens. However, it was more of a happy, giddy clap than it was a congratulatory thank you clap. It was like the Millennium Falcon was revealed. It was like an otter, like smacking my hands, smiling, laughing kind of thing. Like, oh, fuck, that's funny. Or that's awesome. That's exciting. It wasn't like a bravo.
Yeah, like that I can understand that.
Yeah. Because I had a lot of that. I've never had a reaction like that in any movie ever but The Force Awakens, where it's the kind of audible, like, oh yeah, like, and that was just happiness. And when you're surrounded by in a theater with everyone else feeling that, you feed off each other's energy.
Yeah, it's definitely a different like energy.
It's like a shared a shared experience. Like you're hooting and hollering with each other.
Which I can totally understand that, like the excitement, like which is why I mentioned Force Awakens. You're like 30 or 40 years removed from the original trilogy. You have the stank of the prequels, and 10 years since Revenge of the Sith. We're back, and you have the old cast. I understand the excitement behind it, and which is why I was one of them that was excited through the movie. I just think the other day when I seen it. Ready Player One, when I seen Ready Player One, and just the credits come up and everybody's clapping, like applauding, and we're like, oh my god, that was so amazing. And I don't want to say it took away from my enjoyment of the film, but it just ends and people are clapping, and I immediately become a grumpy old man. I'm like, what the fuck are you clapping for?
I don't think I get grumpy, but I just get like, what the fuck are you doing? Or it's just like funny. It's like, yeah. But thinking about this reminds me of how amazing
people who do it. I just don't understand.
Look, if you clap at the end of a movie, you have your reasons for it, and maybe it's frustrating hearing us talk about it, and you're trying to put your 2 cents in, but that's not how podcasts work, and you're just yelling at your screen, wishing that was how they work. But sure, there's maybe a reason, but I don't get it. But man, the feeling I had watching The Force Awakens was like one of the best feelings ever. Fuck, that movie's so good. And that was just like, oh.
The experience I had for The Last Jedi was greater for me because the excitement was there for The Force Awakens. The enjoyment level was at an all-time high. But to a moment I think that I've never had in a theater was in The Last Jedi, There was multiple times where I was, get emotional. But and a moment I've never had was when Luke walks out. When anytime I heard somebody say on the edge of their seat, I just figure it's an expression. It's a figure of speech. I was literally on the edge of my seat, holding my hands getting clammy, and me being like, am I seeing this? And even when you get the fact that he was projecting, it's the moment. It didn't take away from the moment. It was such for Luke being my favorite in all of Star Wars, and he's just my favorite character of all. It was such a moment of like seeing your hero walk out, and just it was a moment I had never had in a movie theater, which maybe that is why the reason it puts it above. But that was a moment I never had, and I don't think I'll ever have again in a movie theater.
Wow. See, I had a completely different Last Jedi experience. The first time I saw The Last Jedi, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was so disappointed at I remember telling you, like, I thought it was a good movie, but I was so disappointed. I texted you, I believe, and yeah, anyways, let's not get back into The Last Jedi. Holy shit, we always find ourselves back talking about it. But that was a movie that required a lot of thinking and a second watch to fully appreciate it. Because at the first watch, it was just like, this wasn't the Star Wars movie I was expecting, and it threw me off completely. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. But I've gone around it. Of course, I love it. But is that all, Ben? I have to go see Ready Player One because I like what you have to say about it. So
I want you to see it, and I want to talk more about it, but after you see it.
Yeah. All right, so
that is all that we okay. You start off with the landmark of 10, which I didn't take seriously, but when you go back and look at this, we went all in.
This is a historical episode. We're 2 hours long.
Historic.
2 hours long. That's just like two episodes in one. So here you go.
We did jam pack. We jam packed this.
And like I'm getting my second wind.
It's 2 in 1.
You know, like when you ever like stay up really late. I don't know. You go to bed at like 7. This is past your bedtime, but
it is.
You know, like if you ever stay up late, you get tired, but then you hit your second wind, and then you can feel like you can go all night.
Yeah,
I'm hitting my second wind right now.
That was me that was me when I was in 12th grade. I stayed up late a lot then, and when I'd be really tired from like 11 till 12:30. Once I hit 12:30, I'm up, I'm awake, I'm ready to go.
See, I've been playing so much Fortnite lately. Like my friend brought his Xbox over yesterday. We were landing, and we were up till 2:30 playing Fortnite. And in my head, I was like, you know what? If I just play for a few more hours, I could just get Ben while he wakes up, and we could record the podcast at like 6 in the morning.
There we go. Yeah,
that would have been a good idea. We probably should, because like you wake up like shortly after I go to sleep.
Yeah, my usual time is 6 a.m.
Okay, there you go. Shit. So
if I'm feeling myself, I'll go maybe 7 a.m. is my sleep-in time, but that's on weekends.
If you're feeling yourself, maybe 7.
Yeah, if that didn't come off the way I wanted it to, but you know what?
I wish I could get up that early. Like when if I have to be at work or something at Stony Creek, and I have to get up like that early to drive there, I always feel like if I got a good sleep, it always feels so nice waking up that early, and I got like the whole day ahead of me.
It is nice because when you wake up at 6 and like 12 hits. Like, and most people are just, I mean, if it's summer and, our age, most people are getting up like at 12.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm already like halfway done my day now.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of shit.
I feel like a productive motherfucker when I wake up that early.
It is a lifestyle.
Yeah,
man.
For sure. The problem is I'm a night owl. Like I'll clean the house or I'll do the dishes or fucking edit a film or something at like, midnight. I'll just get a burst of like, I got to get shit done. Like what you're probably getting around, like 11 o'clock. You're getting at 11 a.m. I'm getting at 11 p.m. It's weird. It's just
okay. Yeah,
just how it goes.
For me, I listened to morning radio, which would be Howard Stern, and when I got more dedicated to listening live every day was 12th grade, and I realized I was like, if I'm gonna get up, I got to change some shit. So that was more the push forward of how I started getting up early, and then I started to like the feeling, and then I went all in of like going to sleep like at 9, 10, waking up at 6, sometimes 5:30, depending on the day, what's going on.
Yeah, see, I usually eat dinner around when you go to bed.
See, I usually eat dinner when some people are eating lunch. I eat like dinner, like okay. I do taekwondo, and I haven't as much because of schooling stuff. But like at days when I do, I'll be eating my dinner at like 3:30.
Yeah, it's like my dad. My
I
dad
eat
goes
early.
to bed at like 5 and eats dinner around then, and yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, okay, you know what? One more thing.
Okay.
Since we're going all out, I gotta ask you
Fuck.
this question.
ask me one more question. Let's do it.
One more question. We get out of here. So you mentioned editing a film, and I do really like editing, and most of the editing I've done hasn't been from
Ben, I lost you.
An actual shoot. It's been just
Ben,
footage that
I
somebody's given to
lost
me,
you.
or footage I take from somewhere else, and I decide let me go edit this.
I
So
got you back.
for one of our shoots in school, I was editing it.
Hold
like
on,
I'm
Ben,
editing
Ben,
it now.
Ben,
Yeah.
I can hear you now, but I missed a lot of what
Oh
you
no.
said.
Okay.
This is what happened when you push 2 hours. Shit starts to go downhill.
Yeah, shit goes downhill.
Okay, you were saying
All right.
about how editing a film, and then I
Okay.
lost you.
All right, editing a film. I haven't done like editing like you. Obviously, you shoot your own stuff and then you edit. The editing stuff I've done is either footage I find from somewhere, footage someone gives, like in an editing class. I get footage from there. I'll edit away, or maybe I'll take game clips and edit game clips. But I haven't edited an actual for one of our film assignments. I'm editing it, and I just started the other day, and it's going to be different because you shoot your own stuff. You have your vision, and you edit it.
Yeah.
And so I start organizing. I'm syncing up clips, and then I'm realizing so many mistakes that they made shooting this, of like continuity errors, and it just doesn't make sense for a certain cut because like maybe the scene is so great, but then I can't cut there because it fucking doesn't match here. And I was syncing some sound, and there's 3 shoot days, and on the second day, the file names for audio and video just don't match up with Slate. I'm like, what's going on here? And I enjoy editing, but like it just made me so like, oh man, there's so many mistakes here.
Do you want some editing tips?
I would love some editing tips because like I'm doing an assembly cut right now, and
Yeah.
I'm doing my first pass at it, and there's like things in there I'm like, this works, but I mean this is good, but it doesn't work because of this continuity error or that error.
Okay. Well, there's a hierarchy to what should motivate your cuts. On the bottom of the hierarchy is continuity. You should I forget the exact order. However, it should be more of a personal order. One sec, my cat's on my desk. Get off, cat. Ah! Okay. So there is a hierarchy, and I think there's actually is a listed rules one, but I think it should be maybe a little more personal. You should cut for pacing. You should cut for performance. Most importantly, cut for emotion, and leave the continuity ones at the bottom. Because the truth is, your audience who's watching your movie, if you were in film school and you're actually showing your film to a regular audience, they're not going to notice the continuity. Very rarely. If they're like snobby assholes, they will. But like, or if like the actor changes skin color or something all of a sudden, they will, of course.
Yeah.
But really, continuity isn't something people notice, because the average person doesn't know how a film is shot, and it feels so organic that these things just go right past their head. So you should always cut for emotion. If you have a shot, you're cutting from shot A to shot B, and you want shot B to be a big surprise, so you hold on shot A, and then you hold on shot A for an abnormally long amount of time or whatever, and you cut to B. And it works like that. But you notice that one of the actor's hands moves as A goes along. Then when it cuts to B, it's off. But if you cut from A to B sooner, the hand matches. You're losing the whole point of your film. The whole point of your film is, this is a little bit of hyperbole, I guess, but the whole point is this moment. It's this emotion. And you have to cut towards that, because really, outside of film school, continuity, schmotnuity. Watch a Martin Scorsese movie and count every time something doesn't make sense continuity-wise. But they work because he cuts, and his editor cuts for motivated reasons. You could Google it later if, like, I believe Film Ride on YouTube has an example of how the hierarchy works, and it's from a book or from some type of lecture from an editor who explains why they cut and when they cut. And I just remember continuity being at the bottom, and I think it's important. I have to tell myself that sometimes too, because sometimes I sacrifice my cuts for continuity because I'll notice it, and it bugs me if I notice it, but most people won't. And Also, you're doing your editing in Premiere, right?
I'm doing it in Avid.
Oh, right. You guys do it in
Yeah.
Avid. Do you have to
the thing is,
manually?
I don't have
Sorry,
to.
right?
Yeah, I don't have to do it in Avid.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, I went into using Avid with an open mind, as most people went in hating it already.
Yeah.
And I
because
picked
people
up
hate change.
a lot with. Yeah, and I picked up a lot with Avid, and I feel like I prefer Avid than Premiere.
Okay. Does in Avid, when you have your audio and your video, do you have to manually move the files to sync up with the slate?
So on Avid, the way it is you can. There's multiple ways to do it, but the way I do it is you take your video and your audio, and you put in points from when the slate hits down, and obviously it hits down on your clip and audio. So you put your endpoints there, and then you select those two. Then you can auto sync them, and you can choose where you want to auto sync it, and then it'll have a point for endpoint. And then it just, for me, it was really easy, because I remember on Premiere how I did it is I would, and there's probably an easier way, and this was when I was just getting into editing, was when I would take the audio track and I would like move it to the spike point. And
that's what
for
we
me,
were
it
taught
made it
to
a lot
do.
easier.
We're like in when I went there, second year, first semester. I don't know. No, first year. I don't fucking know. I don't remember what we were. Anyways, second year, first semester. I think whatever. Nope. Fuck it. Ignore me.
We did Avid in the second year, first semester.
Okay.
We still do it in the
Yes.
second,
Yes. So
if
then
that helps you.
Yeah. So first year, second semester, maybe when we're using Premiere and we had to sync video and audio. In Premiere, you just select them and right click it and it syncs it. You could hit synchronize it automatically, but they didn't know how to do that. I remember one of the editing teachers referencing like, "Oh, there is an easy way to sync it, but I don't know how to do it." So we had to like tediously drag the points to match up. I didn't do that. I just selected it because like I had known how to do that, but because that makes so much more sense. I also don't edit with in and out points. I take the whole video and audio file and I drag them right into the timeline. And then,
that is how I would usually, like, I know there's people who do the in and out, but like I like to take personally, and you can tell me I'm an idiot for doing it after, or maybe not, is I'll take the clips and I'll just put them there and just look at it of how it will play there, and then make my decisions of how I want to move things or place things, and then start cutting from there. But I just like to see the flow. Like I want to see how everything looks before I start making the certain
I mean, I
cuts.
wouldn't call you an idiot because I don't know. Everyone has their process.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting like I've edited shit I've shot and directed and noticed things we fucked up. Cause like when you're filming, the way I like all the sets I'm on with like my independent stuff, there's like minimal crew, minimal time, and minimal money. So things will be half-assed on set. It's just inevitable.
Yeah.
Like you get tired. So when I edit it, I have to edit to make it not look half-assed. Like that's key. That's your job as an editor, kind of. So
Yeah.
like you're talking about how I'm not going to notice, how I won't have that problem that you're having as much maybe, but it's definitely something that exists. And sometimes like here's a little behind the curtain thing. Sound person, not going to name their name, didn't record audio for our best take of this pivotal scene in the movie. It's one of the most important scenes in
Is
a
this
movie I
on
made.
your independent one?
Yeah, this is Fuck My Friends. One of the most important scenes. One of the sound people didn't record it, which you would think, oh shit, it's the best take. I didn't realize there was no sound rolling until afterwards, editing it. And you would think, oh no, but you find, you make a movie 3 times. You make it when you write it, you make it when you shoot it, and you make it when you edit it. So this was just my chance to remake the scene I already wrote in this, or sorry, someone else wrote the movie, the scene I already shot. So what I did was just that one take of that shot had no sound. So I cut the whole sound from the whole scene. So now the scene is soundless and all of the emotion comes from the ADR and the Foley. So what we did was heightened certain sound effects, like certain punches, and all the sound is just like atmospheric music. And we took lines from previously in the movie and looped it, and then looped it with certain elements of the film that are like reoccurring thing, and it turned into one of my favorite scenes in the movie. We got George Flores, shout out to George Flores, in Toronto to do all the post sound, and he came up with this. I sat in on the mix with the other producer, and we sat in on the mix, and we completely redid the seed from our original intentions, but you make the movie again. A short film I made recently, the movie we wrote and the movie we shot were similar, but the movie I edited was not the same movie. I did a lot of like, even the movie we shot missed like key elements of the movie we wrote, but it's just like we don't want to do that anymore. It feels natural this way. So when I edited it, it's like a whole new thing. Like the film we shot was like this touching young romance, and then it got into the editing. It's like, yeah, it has the touching young romance, but it's like one of the most experimental things we've ever done now. I have a scene where two characters are talking in the kitchen, and what I did was I cut the dialogue. I tend to do that, but kept the background noises. So I did all the Foley for the sink and stuff and the dishes, but you don't hear them talk, and what they say comes up in subtitles instead because one of the characters is deaf. So it's like, yeah, we didn't intend to do it when shooting it, but you remake the movie completely when you edit it. And if things are wrong, if someone fucked up the day of, just redo the movie. Just remake the movie with a whole new vision. I mean, it's up to your director, of course, but as an editor, like fucking run it by. Like this scene, you can play it out like this, just like completely different. I find, because I typically make more experimental or just, weirder movies, so it works like that. I could just be like, oh, fuck it, let's do this. And that's kind of a style I've established. So it works. But I mean, it depends on the filmmaker, it depends on you. But that's just some editing advice. Just remake it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where I've had to run into, because a lot of the stuff in the original script was they didn't film certain things because of time, and they couldn't do certain things or disagreements. There was a lot of, I guess, chaos in between the crew. So, and even if you mention audio, all the audio that was recorded, and it's a dialogue-heavy short film, all the audio that was recorded was not recorded well. There's only a few that were done well, but it's... I wouldn't say awful, but it's pretty bad.
That's that school, though. That school's a shit show.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, like what you were talking, I've also heard more complaints about that just writing, or the teacher being like changing people's script to make it like really cliche, and how like your artistic freedom is so limited.
My goodness. Yeah, okay. It really is. So a friend and so the writing, okay, I know we're going along, so I'll make this quick. So where we're at now is you have writing partners, you come up with 2 scripts, you pick which one you want to do, and you do a separate rewrite, and then you meet together, you do another rewrite, you present that one. And we recently did that, and we went in Wednesday to for him to give us his thoughts or more alters, because he wants it as his film. And so I do a rewrite, and because the rewrite's based on the last meeting, which he's supposed to make suggestions to, and you go from there. So I try my best to work in some of his suggestions, but with it not being as cliche. And then the other guy did a rewrite, and we come together and we do it, and it felt pretty symbiotic what we did. But then we go on Wednesday, and he's like, all right, well, I do like the script, but it seems like you guys didn't work it all together, and it seemed like one guy just wrote the script, and like you didn't do this rewrite, and your rewrite didn't seem like this. And we were like, huh? We spent like hours trying to come up with this, and we thought we came up with something good, and like you're saying, yeah, but then, huh? And then like the story right now, it's a story of, it started as a story pretty much of masculinity, and it deals with 2 gay characters, and this one guy's a hockey player, and it involves, it's essentially a coming of age story, and it deals with hockey. And this guy is, the thing we were cautious about was not writing it as straight people, and trying for it to not seem like 2 straight people wrote it, which is obviously a task. And when this guy would make comments, his comments would be exactly that, as if a straight person wrote a gay story, and it just doesn't work. And a lot of his suggestions just
like he was trying to make it super gay,
yes,
kind of thing.
And, yeah, and it doesn't work for the story that is there. And I feel like it's a course that could work, but if you didn't have somebody who wants it to be like as if it's their thing, and it's shitty. It's fucking, I don't like it. I know some people do, but
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people not like it.
Fuck that school. I'm like, when I think back to what I experienced here, and when I think about how other people are experiencing, like yourself, I'm just so thankful I'm out of there. Like, disgusting. Like, that place is
Yeah.
disgusting. It's just I can't stand it. Anyways, like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice for you because with you, I'll say this without blowing you too hard here.
Blow me.
I feel like of people that I've seen, not to bury people, just from what I've seen of student filmmakers or filmmakers in general, you are the one that I see that I'm like, he has a future. You can tell that you have a distinct vision of what you want to do, and you are creative. As with some people, you can look at their product and it's like, whatever. Okay, sure, you got some stuff there, but there's nothing that I could see that would stand out as what I see from you. So it's nice for you because you don't need the shit, and you can make your own stuff. You can go out like you've been doing and make your own stuff. So now you have more time to do that.
You're gonna make me cry, Ben, but I get what you're saying. Thank you, but I think it's also just like that school is molding kind of like it's got students on like a factory line where it's just like pumping them out, and they all kind of get the same idea. Like, they don't really have much free will in their vision because like it's been so molded by the teachers there.
Yes.
Like, I think of some people in specific there that I've seen the work from, and I mean, like, look, I'm not being a dick. I'm not better than them. However, they're making art and they're open for criticism like any of us. A lot of the stuff that comes from them and comes from that school is no good. And like, yeah, they're young, and
but even with being young, is like in the beginning of this class that we were just mentioning, is the guy showed us two or three of the third year films just to say like, hey, what you guys are writing, this is what we're gonna do. And the three he showed us were, okay, again, it's all subjective, but I'm not saying it to say it, but they were really bad films. And which is why I mentioned, like, you are young, and I can see the potential on yours, as where I see these other ones, I don't see any potential anywhere. There's nothing creative about them or original.
Yeah, there are young people. You can look online. There's so many young people who are creating amazing stuff. So I don't think the young is an excuse, but like,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. Some people there, like, I think some of the people there are awful people. I think they're just piles of shit, and the education that people are getting there, I think, is not worth the money. But whatever, that's why I left, and not to like, I get why some people are there. Like, I get why you're there. I'm not insulting you.
I have a question to pose. Yeah, I have a question to pose you.
Okay.
So back to editing real quick, and then we can end it there.
Okay, yeah. Holy shit.
So for the second semester, there's a new editing teacher, and I'll give you one of her biggest credits, and you tell me how you would feel. So her biggest credit is editing Suicide Squad. Would you feel confident about that, or like, huh?
Okay.
Like, to me, I think that's cool, like that somebody has a credit to them. But then I think of Suicide Squad, and editing doesn't stand out. Now, not to say it's just one person, because there was a lot of people that edited it, and I do think it's a badass thing to have on your credit. But I'm curious, how would you take that?
Okay, hold on. I'm just curious because are they like the lead editor on Suicide
No,
Squad?
not lead editor. So that's why yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
one of the assistant
like
editors,
if you're like,
which is why I make it was not a lead. There was other people that edited it.
Yeah, it's definitely like cool, I guess, but I mean, that's like the same thing. We had some kid come into one of the classes last year, and they're like, he worked on Suicide
right.
Squad.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
and like,
about.
okay, look.
Yeah.
There's two angles to this. There's you're at the college because you want to be a grip, or because you want to be a gaffer, or because you want to be a crew member on someone else's project, where your creativity, the creative element, is very minimal. For those people, I get why it'd be cool that this guy worked on Suicide Squad. I think he was just like a PA, like
just something like that.
Just like he was there. But like
major.
For me, I'm like, no, I don't want to be a PA on Suicide Squad. I get it for like, it's cool, you get to see all the celebrities, you get to see it be made, but as a career, a grip, no, it's just, that's not what I want to do. I want to have that creative say, and I get maybe you have to climb the ladder. I get that. But I much prefer having a say, it being my project, I'm the creative head, or I have a lot to say creatively over, being a grip. Not to take anything away from grips, and I get that. And I think, I also named the college. I think this place has like this school is for those people. It's for grips. It's for lackeys.
I do agree. They train you for that, and
it's like
if you want to have a more say in a position, they'll tell you it's not gonna go that way.
Yeah, and I think like, so for having this editor, she probably had minimal to say creatively. She was probably just someone's.
On the first day, she was like, "You guys have any questions?" So like, I was conflicted to ask this question because I could see how it comes off as a dick, and I knew I wasn't gonna get the right answer. But with Suicide Squad, there were rumors, and were pretty much confirmed later, that the people who ended up editing the final film were the trailer company that cut together the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer. So I debated, should I bring this up? And then
that would have been interesting. Oh, you did?
I asked her that. I did ask her, and it was what I assumed. She at first, I think maybe would have been surprised about it, and then I'd even asked because there was the discussion of David Ayer's original vision was much more serious, and then it was altered, and he was pretty much didn't have say in the final cut of it. And the answer was I didn't expect much, which was the case. What she was saying, well, they came in and David Ayer was there and he gave a say. It wasn't really that. It was just.
Yeah. So I'd imagine she was like I don't know. It's most of the people there are like Bell Media wash-ups. So
yeah. When I asked the question, I felt after maybe that came off as like a dick.
I don't think so.
To ask that,
I don't think so.
I didn't think at first, but.
No.
I did after. I do like her, not to throw her under the bus. I'm just curious what somebody on the outside would think. And one more thing that really annoys me about that same teacher about the scripts is he talks about how, I direct things and I've been doing this for so long and I'm directing this ghost story documentary, and the people always come to me and the producers and like, why do you make such great episodes? It's because I follow structure. And it's like, man, I'm so tired of hearing fucking you directing a ghost documentary. Whatever. I mean, good for you. Like, I'm glad you got a job, but why do I got to hear about ghost stories?
Also, like, you follow structure. Like, documentaries are so, like, they can be so abstract in their presentation that, like, the good ones are usually unique in their structure. I guess just films in general are. To praise it because it follows structures seems a little silly to me, and it seems like he's almost just saying that to get you on board with structure. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know, Ben. I hate it there.
I know, my goodness. But we went inside baseball for that last like half an hour.
Yeah.
And hopefully it was enjoyable.
Oh God. Fuck.
This was a big one. This is a landmark. When we look back,
we're approaching
down the road,
2.5 hours.
Yeah, when one day when we're going to the premieres of Star Wars Episode 67, we're gonna look back at this and be like, you know what? Episode 10 was the landmark. That was the big one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. I agree. My legs need to stretch. Holy shit.
I know, this is a long time. Should we get out of here? You got any final words you want to say?
No. I don't think so. I think just be creative and do you, everyone. That's all that matters in life. If you're making movies, don't take one person's word as I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just do you. Take criticism, but understand what you want to do and just fucking do it. Just get out there and do it.
Come on, do it now. Come on.
Oh, okay. That sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger having sex.
It might have been. The guy, he went in for like a heart surgery, and apparently the first thing he said when he came out of it was, "I'm back." And that was a terrible Arnold, but the only thing I can do is,
I'll be back.
Come on, do it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Arnold.
How's that? I'll be back. How's that?
I think that was much better than what I did.
Awesome. All right, let's end this because it's going all over the place.
It is going all over the place. We'll be here next week, and you know what next week is, right?
Let me think.
A Quiet Place.
Oh, pleasant surprise. Happy.
That's right.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, I gotta fucking watch Pacific Rim and Ready Player One, and I really want to see Unsane. I think I'm gonna drive out somewhere to where a theater has it.
I'd be really interested to see that, especially speaking of filmmaking, that it is in a place where you have such access to do it now. Is that with Steven Soderbergh, he shot the film on an iPhone, which.
And he was saying like Steven Soderbergh was talking about how that's how the future movies are going to be made. I think he's got a point. I don't know if I 100% agree, but I get where he's coming from. And do you want to go see it together? I'll pick you up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, we can talk about that.
Okay, because there's a theater. I don't know if we name cities or towns on this, but there's a theater like probably like 40. It's like 40 minutes from you. If you're in the city, I think you live in still. It's like 40 minutes.
I still live in the same place.
And if you want, I'm down to go together. I think it's playing there for this week. I'm not sure about how much longer after that. But if I want to see Pacific Rim, Ready Player One, and Unsane this week. So.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. I'm down to take you if you want to see it. But besides that.
Besides that, we got to wrap up. Are we going to go for 4 hours?
Fuck.
And it's going to turn into 8, and it's going to turn into 10.
Yeah, because I feel like we've done our closing statements like 3 times.
We have. We've done it, and then we've gone on to something that we do, and we've gone on to something.
Okay. Is that all, Ben? Have you said anything?
That is all for me until next week.
All right.
I've said it all.
All right. Thank you to Jackson for the music and the artwork. Thank you to Tanya for the comment. If you have another comment, if anyone there wants to leave a comment, you know where to do it. Jake and Ben Show, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We'll make time on the show to do it no matter what. Just leave a comment. Okay, here we go. Or a question, of course. Anything you want to say, just say it. We're going to be back next week. You know, it's Saturday or Sunday. You can find us on one of those days. Just tune in on the weekend. We'll be your weekend entertainment. You got to drive to work. You know, you're working out, you're cleaning the house, whatever it is. Thank you so much for listening. That's the most important. You've been here, whether you agree or disagree, you know. You stuck through it, and we appreciate it. So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for rating. You the best. All right. And I believe Ben has said his farewell, because if he gets back on here, maybe we'll keep going. But I'm going to say bye. I'll leave us pause for Ben to say bye if he doesn't.
I will say bye for now.
Okay, there it is. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Holy shit.
Yes.
I'm going to fucking go watch a documentary about Star Wars now. All right.
So that was an amazing outro.
Okay, bye-bye.